At 1, what happens when you find 2 inmates inactive in the shower?
Inmate found unresponsive in the shower.
It had to be the blue one.
Buku? 2 inmates found unresponsive in the shower. And as you see, nobody's coming to help. They're actually recording it. And look, his pants are down to his knees. This is the last thing that you want going on when you're in prison. Me? I've been this person. And when I woke up, I wasn't happy with myself. But me being an addict, you think I stopped? No. It's kind of like the one stuff on the streets, you know, the oh, that no one's coming back from. That's what that's like in prison. So as soon as someone falls out, people are looking for it. Where's that at? I need that. Makes no sense, right? But anything can happen to you when you're unresponsive like this. Can have something go bad with your health. And worse, maybe someone sneak in there and do something to you. You know what I'm saying. Then you're in there laying all over the shower floor. Man, that is wild. I fell out before, but I've never fell out in the shower. Doesn't make it any better. Well, just a little bit. But I do get using in prison, trying to escape just for that one little minute. But if escaping has to be like this, go read a book. And in Ohio now, if you're acting like this in a block, because the other inmates getting locked down for this behavior, the COs will let the other inmates take care of this guy. Because one person's action is going to make the whole dorm get locked down. If the CO walks in there and he sees these 2 guys laying on the floor, lock it down. Leave in the comments what you think should happen to these 2.
At 2, what happens when a white boy drops the soap?
On East Ham, I seen a white boy about 5'2", little bitty. He go into the shower. Now, the showers is differently everywhere you go. In East Ham, them up look like this room. The whole thing is just one big flow with a bunch of showers and coming down with the water. And then you got the laundry and wall right here with the people waiting to give you something to dry off with and then change your clothes and shit. And you get back in the line and they escort you back to your unit. You know what I'm saying? To your dorm and like that, right? So if you ain't you can't help to see another man and all this shit when you got a line right here taking a shot, line right here, line depending on what the line you in, you like to see everybody. So you know the shit, the booty bandits, that's they sit to the back. They gonna make sure they get to the end of the line so they can be backed up, looking at that and all this and jacking off and all this here. So one day this little white boy, you know what I'm saying, came up in this bitch and this name Jack Black. You know, everybody know this. When this nigga come around, he come to swing and bang. That's all he want. He a booty bandit. He love white boys, right? Him and about 4 of his partners was in that bitch showering. I'm on the end right here. I'm showering, and it got too quiet in that bitch. I knew something was finna happen. So all of a sudden, this shit, they woke up, and then the dude say, hey, you drop your soap? So he looked down, he said, I ain't dropping no soap. So he took his soap and dropped it right in front of him. He said, you did now, pick it up.
At 3, it's crazy when you catch an inmate fucking, but with a knife to the throat.
The OG say he carried, I'm like, what the, bro, I look, OG got the from the back with the knife to his throat, and his ass is out. You can see that the kid ass is out. The kid face is facing me. He like this, with his eyes rolling in the back of his head and his hands like up like this. And the OG has got the knife, and you can see this part of him and the knife to the youngster neck, and he pulling his hair like this from the back. Got him like this with the knife. And the kid like, Bro, I'm like, OG. He like, mind your business, youngster. I'm like, oh shit, nigga, I just got on, bro. I'm like, damn, OG in there and shit out that young, bro.
At 4, featuring this motherfucker Fleece Johnson. Oh my God, this son of a bitch.
All this shit. He said, I'm thirsty. I need something to suck. And he'll come up to your cell, bro.
You be sitting there reading a book, writing a letter to your family. He'll hit your door and tell you, when he come back, you better have that thing out. You better have it out. And I remember this little white boy asked me, he just came from another prison. He knocked on my door. I said, yeah. He said, what's your name? I said, don't matter what my name is. What you want? He said, that big black guy told me when he left my cell to have my thing out and he'll be back. What was he talking about? I said, you know what he's talking about? He's talking about your dick.
So he came right back down the hall. He was sweeping. Called the little dude up, I let them talk, and was mopping him through the door. Got squatted on his knees, pulled his little thing through the door. It was going at it, and the guards caught him.
And the guards, there was a whole lot of them at the door. They was hollering, get in your cell. Get in your cell. Get off of it. And he said, with that man thing still in his mouth. I said, oh my God, did he snatch it off? And when he got done, that nigga wiped his mouth, he did like this. He got done, and it made that little slap. He knows how to suck, because he makes that slapping noise.
At 5, sometimes it's in order to sit down to pee in your cell. Yes.
And I could instantly, when I walked in, not even knowing who the dude was, I could tell by his demeanor that this dude is no joke. He was like, first thing he said to me was paperwork. And I'm like, right here, buddy. And I'm like, yours. And he hands me his paperwork, and I'm like, all the respect, dog. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, cool. So you're here on UUMVs. So when's your out date? And I'm like, I got 39 months. He's like, cool. That's the last time you'll ever talk about getting out around me. And I was like, facts. Okay. You know what I'm saying? He's like, we have some rules in this cell. You sit down to pee. And I'm like, explain it. And he's like, so there is a piss mist radius when you stand up and you pee 2-3 feet from the water. There's a splashback mist radius. And he goes, this is my home for the rest of my life. I'm never going to see the streets again in my life. And I don't want to live with a bunch of other dudes' piss. You'll be in and out of here. This is my forever home. And I was like, I got you. I can respect that.
At 6, how does it feel to be a prison bitch?
Becoming somebody's girlfriend in prison? Let's get into this. Now, I did 8.5 years at USP, and I did not see anybody on the yard like this. Matter of fact, if you batted for the opposite team, they'd just tell you to leave. Now, I was housed around people that were in active organizations in prison, and this just is not allowed. But there are some prisons, especially in the East Coast, that allows people to walk around like this. I would say most prisons on the West Coast don't, but I could be wrong. All I can speak on is the experience that I endured. Now, I know in other prisons, people literally punk people into being their girl. They make them clean the cell, they make them cook them food. And I'm not saying this doesn't happen, it just didn't happen at the prison I was at specifically. Now, I assume when this dude went to prison, he wasn't like this. And people will do whatever it takes to survive. It just boils down to some prisons don't allow stuff like this, and some do. And that's facts.
At 7, what this prison guard witnessed with bare eyes was the unthinkable.
Until you see a person's face opened with a straight edge razor that it takes 200 or 300 stitches to close, you have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm talking about they would put their arm around another inmate, around their neck, and just spit a razor blade out of their mouth and go to work. And I'm talking about ripping your skin. It's like taking a piece of meat and just taking the sharpest knife that you have and just cutting on the fat part of it. And look how it opens up. That's what these inmates were doing and continue to do to each other. That's what they continue to do to each other. They make homemade weapons. They'll take a piece of metal and they're sharpening it down, or they'll sharpen down a toothbrush on the ends. And they will go to work on you. And they're just continuously stabbing and stabbing and stabbing until you're leaking all over the place. Blood is everywhere. I've seen officers get slashed in the face. 200 stitches to close her face. I've seen it. The inmate put her in a headlock, spit the razor out of his mouth, and opened her face. That was one of the worst things in the world that you would ever want to experience.
At 8, inmates use Tinder inside prison, but definitely not for good.
The biggest scam inmates run in prison.
The biggest scam that inmates run from prison. Let's get into this. Now, I made this video before, you guys get so mad. I can't believe you would expose this, you're snitching. I know people that got criminally charged for this. You don't think the cops already know? They're not stupid. Now, what inmates will do is there'll be 2 inmates. Both of them will have a cell phone, they'll live together. One will pose on like Tinder and pose as the 18-year-old. Then they'll match with somebody and then they'll tell them, hey, I'm actually 15. And half the guys are disgusting and they're like, I don't care. Then they use a website and look up all of their public information. They find out where they work, their wife's name, their kids' name, where they go to school. And then the other cellmate will call them and act like a police officer and be like, yo, can you please tell me why a case file came across my desk with you having a conversation with an underage girl? Then he'll say, look, I'm not gonna charge you, but you need to talk with these kids' parents. It's up to them if they want to charge you or not. Then that dude will call the cellmate, which he thinks is the parent, and sit there and beg and plead for his life. I'll pay you $20,000 if you don't press charges. Next thing you know, that inmate just made $20,000. But it don't stop there. They keep exploiting them. Yo, on the first of the month, there better be another 10 grand there or we're gonna let them know. And it just keeps going and going, and inmates run up hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, more power to them. They're targeting people I don't even like. But you gotta give them some credit. It's crazy how smart and manipulative inmates are. And that's facts.
At 9, do women get turned out in prison? Let's find out.
How easy is it to get turned out in a female prison if you go in completely straight? If you don't know what turned out means that somebody that you come in contact with ends up changing your mind about swinging another direction sexually. You end up liking that person of the same sex for the time being because that person turned you out. Listen, y'all, I don't care if you're an 85-year-old great granny, Bible thumping, happily married. The chances that you could possibly get turned out in prison are pretty damn good. It's so freaking easy and it's so damn common, okay?
At 10, here's the $1 million question. How do inmates handle disagreements?
Fighting to settle a disagreement in prison? Let's get into this. Full fights on my X account if you guys want to check it out. Now, in prison, it just depends what institution you're incarcerated at. Sometimes if you got a problem with somebody and he's not affiliated with the same organization you're in, they let you handle it. In some prisons, they don't let you handle it. Now, the institution I was at, if you got a problem with somebody, you're getting jumped. Now, I'm not saying I specifically agree with this, but they do it this way because people don't like taking losses. So if one of their own get beat up, it kind of makes them look weak. So they just say screw it and they set the whole yard off. Now, in some prisons, people don't care if you run a one-on-one fade. And as men, I kind of understand where they're coming from. But once again, it depends what institution you're really at. Now, I'm not saying one-on-one fights didn't happen at the prison I was in. Like I said, it all depends on what organization you are affiliated with. But at the end of this video, they hugged it up and they gave each other respect, and that's how it should be. And that's facts.
At 11, Ice Jizzle, aka the prison OG. How was his first day in federal prison? Well,
you really don't want to be confused, because before lunch, your ass gonna get life lighted off that. Because the first thing they're gonna ask you for, nobody gives a where you from, but when they find out where you from, they're gonna say, your people over there. Your people over there. Oh, you on gang time and shit? You need to be over there with them. And the first thing they're gonna ask you is, you hot? Now, mind you, when I first got there, I didn't even know the lingo. I was dumb as a box of rocks. So when it says you hot, I told it, yeah. I almost got, I'm talking about, they pulled me in a room and everybody clutching. Everybody got their hands in their pants. I'm like, this some freak ass man. Like, what's wrong with this here? I'm like, what? And I'm looking, I'm saying, oh man, they clutching, these got knives. So they asked me, they're like, where you from? So I said, this and that, what you do? And when I tell them, they like, so you hot? I'm like, yeah, I'm hot. The who asked me the question and shit, right? He turned around and looked at everybody in the room and then pulled his shit out. He said, I'm gonna ask you one more time, you hot, my? And I'm like, I don't understand. I said, cause if you're talking about the humidity of the room and shit, yeah, it's a little hot up in here. You got like 9 up in this, you know what I'm saying? So, in this small ass cell, cut the down. So, a who knew me was sitting on the bunk and shit like this, and he was just like, man. He said, man, I know Lil Woe. He's like, he ain't on that type of time and shit. You know what I'm saying? He's like, he don't know. This is his first time down here. He don't know. He don't know what y'all talking about. So somebody explain it to him. For y'all got that dude for nothing. So I'm looking at him like, they talking about? He say, man, did you rat? Did you snitch on somebody? Do you got a 4K1, a 5K1 on somebody? Anything. You told on the dead, you told on the living.
At 12, what if some big-ass black dude gives you two options, Vaseline or a knife? Which one would you pick?
Go back to the cell, old dude threw the Vaseline on the bed and a knife. And he says to me, get it in mud or we get it in blood. Yeah. Okay. That was a lie. Okay, OG, let's rock. So I don't grab a knife. I just start punching on OG. This nigga like a fucking, I'm sorry, bro. I mean, he was like wall, bro. Like he just, it wasn't, I'm young, bro. I'm light in the ass. This grown man energy. Yeah. Boy hit me like 3 times. Boom, boom, boom. I'm talking about sat me down, get back up. At this time, bro, I just got hard. Yep. I just got hard, bro. Tussling with OG. Now what happens is it was a gangster situation the way he played me, because once the cell's racked, you gotta stay in the cell for 2 hours. So you either stay in the cell or you stay in the day room. I fought this old nigga for 2 hours.
You got nowhere to go. Yeah. He ain't gonna stop. He ain't gonna stop.
I fought that old nigga for 2 hours, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about he whooping my ass. I'm not even winning. Like by a long shot.
Yeah.
Nigga punching me with grown man, 65-year-old energy. And he work out every day.
Yeah.
Nigga, he in that bitch doing 1,000 push-ups. This what he do.
Yeah.
At 13, how prison took 32 teeth of Fleece Johnson. This story will definitely blow your mind.
Because right now, as you just smile when we start off, you don't have your teeth. Can you explain, like, the prison system took your teeth away?
Yeah, they did. They took my teeth. I was biting people. I had a fight with some guy. Everybody was scared of because he come out of the army. He was a special ops, some old shit in the army, and he killed some man that he caught with his wife. So that's how he ended up in prison. Was still with his military training and shit. So he told me, don't come out on the walk, man, I'm gonna kill you. I said, I'll be out, bitch. You got that to do. Ain't no all that. I ain't standing my nigga do that. Show me what you know, right? So when he came out, man, he swole, man. He exercised every day. One of them motherfuckers that this crazy. And when I walked up on him, I swung, popped him, and tried to, scoop him. And they caught me in the head like they was choking the shit out of me, man. But my niggas, man, they ain't gonna break no one-on-one off, man. It's tight.
Damn.
And I'm sliding and I'm getting ready to pass out and shit, man, and that snot come out my nose. The nigga choked me so hard I fought it, man. That made me mad right there.
At 14, sometimes inmates stabbed each other for KFC. Nah, I mean for real.
Oh, come on that chicken, man. I ain't selling my chicken, man. Do not mess with somebody's food in prison, or I promise you shit will get serious. That boy's willing to die for that KFC. You know how much work he had to put in with one of those officers to bring him some Kentucky Fried Chicken? Now, I told you guys multiple times I've literally seen people lose their life over 39-cent top ramen that you can get off commissary. So what do you think that same individual's gonna do for a 6-piece? Now, me personally, I don't like KFC. I think Popeye shits on everything. But hey, in prison, KFC is like Ruth Chris. When I was locked up at USP, I didn't really see cops that would bring in shit. But I know people that were making plays, I just don't know exactly how they were making them. And I assume that they had an officer on the team. But that brings up my next point. In prison, the best thing you can do is just mind your own business. And that's facts.
At 15, a few seconds ago, this minute sent me a story. Watch this.
I just seen a nigga walk up and stab a nigga in the heart in front of the police. And when the nigga fell, the nigga who stabbed him said, "That's how you kill a nigga. That's how you do it. You don't want to live here. I need to talk to somebody." That shit kind of fuck with my head.
At 16, have you ever ate shit food? No, I mean with literal shit in it.
Y'all know how I told y'all that shit be going down in the prison? Yeah, here's another one. And this video is specifically for people that are already COs, have been for years, people who are new boots just coming into working in the prison, people who are thinking about becoming COs, but you can still stay if you just want to hear the tea. So I get to work. We all meet up in turnout. At the end of the turnout, my supervisors are like, y'all not gonna get a break today. We short staffed, so we gonna be providing y'all lunch. I'm like, okay, cool, no problem. I can do a little lunch on y'all. Disclaimer. When they said they was gonna provide us lunch, they meant we was gonna find some shit in the back of the freezer and have the inmates cook it up for y'all. That's what they meant. Lunchtime roll around. They bring us some trays. It's chilly. They got the crackers on the side. They even put us some bread on the side. They got us a cute little brownie with the chocolate icing on there. They brought us a little cup of Kool-Aid. It was decent. It was decent. Not gonna hold you up. We all eat the chili, right? Everybody calling like, damn, this chili was good. It tastes like they put some seasoning in it. You know, it was really good. It was good. Not even an hour later, my stomach get to turning. And y'all, I hate when my stomach hurt. When my stomach hurt, I can't do nothing. I can't think. I can't breathe. I just want to lay at the bottom of the bathroom floor. My stomach was bubbling so bad. It was hurting so bad. I'm like, what did they put in this freaking chili? So I'm panicking. I'm paranoid because I'm like, what the hell is going on? I get to calling around like to the other buildings and trying to see if anybody else is feeling weird. Nobody else is feeling weird but me. So after about a good 45 minutes, I couldn't handle it no more. I had to go home. The next day I get to work and there is nobody there. Everybody called out again. This time it was more people. So I'm like, why the hell did everybody call out? My supervisor told me something, yeah, everybody called in sick. Everybody got the same complaint. Their stomach was hurting, they throwing up, diarrhea, all this and all that. I'm like, okay. Because this is how I was feeling yesterday. And I was calling around and everybody was looking at me like I was crazy. To make a long story short, they ended up finding out that it was feces in the brownie mix. Did y'all hear me? Shit. In the literal shit in the brownie mix. That we ate. We took it into our bodies. Yeah. We ate shit. We literally ate shit. We literally ate shit. Moral of the story is, do not eat in the ODR. Don't eat in the ODR. Y'all don't know what these inmates are doing to the food. I already knew better because I had got sick one time before. I should have not just ate. I should have just waited until I got home. But yeah, just be mindful. Bring your own lunch. DoorDash something. Uber Eats something. Don't eat in the ODR.
At 17, imagine you take a flight to a different country but end up in prison.
How was the flight from Albania this morning?
I come boat and water high and police save me and bring me here and my friend Algeria.
At 18, you may have heard rumors about prison food, but watch this.
Man, I do not be wanting this shit. I will not be eating this shit.
Yes, that's exactly what we get for breakfast in prison. First, you got this cream of wheat right here. If it's made right and it's fresh, it's not too bad. But once it hardens, it ends up being a brick, and inmates use this to glue stuff to their wall. Next on the list, you got some bran flakes. It's literally raisin bran without the raisins and the sugar. Tastes like you're eating little pieces of cardboard. Then you got some pears right here. They always give you something, and people like to save these up and make prison liquor. Now, I ain't even gonna lie, this biscuit right here, I know that shit's busting. In prison, it's like an unspoken rule just to mix everything in one or just wrap something in a tortilla. Now, if I was eating this tray, I'd take the cream of wheat, throw the biscuit, crunch it up in there, put the bran flakes on top, fuck it, throw the pears in there and just smash it. Because you know the cops are coming back in 5 seconds to get your tray. I still eat like an inmate, and that's facts.
At 19, watch Fleece Johnson crashing out while saying, quote, fuck them to his dead parents.
Man, I fought in a
And they were getting old. They was getting old.
Fuck it.
And you
I ain't gonna let no nasty person touch my.
Okay, well, why was you in prison then? If you felt that strongly about it, why you let yourself be in prison?
Man, I went in prison at a time where I didn't know nothing.
I know, but you kept extending time. You knew your parents was getting older.
Man, I didn't care about all that.
See, so you can't say that what you care so much about them.
Yeah,
because you stayed there.
I stayed in prison.
You kept extending your time.
Man, I fought and I fought.
And they were getting old. They was getting old.
Fuck it.
And you didn't care. You knew they was gonna die. You knew they was gonna die.
Fuck.
You knew they was gonna die one day.
I'm gonna die.
Yeah, they was gonna die one day.
Man, I ain't with all that.
So if you cared so much, you would have been out here free in the free world and then took care of them.
I can't make them white racist motherfuckers let me go, bro.
You kept extending your time.
I extended my time.
You kept getting in trouble.
Fuck them.
You kept getting in trouble.
Hey, I tell you what, let them fuck with me now out here.
No. Look.
You think I caused some massive, major destructions in that motherfucker? Well, I shut down a whole goddamn system by myself. Fuck with me out here.
At 20, what if you wake up and your cellmate wants to fight you butt naked?
My cellmate in prison tried to fight me butt naked. Imagine now, I was sleeping on the top bunk. He's on the bottom. My socks basically fell off my bed. So I've gone down to pick it up. It's 6 in the morning and it's dark in it. Like, I can't see nothing in it. So I just picked up the sock. Turns out it was his sock, but it was by accident. And now he's banging out. Arguing me, now I'm arguing back. Now we're arguing. He's now talking crud. So he's got to do this and do that to me. I'm like, what? So I'm talking crud back. I'm like, you fucking dumb. You talk, I'll do that to you. Like, who the fuck do you think you are? After now, we're arguing. I'm now like brushing my teeth in it. I'm at like my cell door, yeah. Now this guy's like, oh, continue talking. I'm like, what are you gonna do? This guy's hopped out of his bed, yeah. Bro, this guy's big 6-foot black guy, yeah. He's hopped out of his bed. Dick swinging. Screaming, leave me alone. He's dick swinging. He's right in front of my face, like, so close to me, like, I'm telling this guy, move from me, like, he's a big guy, like, he's even packing. He got a schlong, no homo, like, and he's mad close, like, he's to my face screaming, yeah. I'm even like, I want to throw 1-2, yeah, but I'm too shook. Like, imagine I throw 1-2, yeah, and then after, like, he counters it with a dick slap. Now I step back, like, move away from me, like, you fucking dumb, like, go put your clothes on, like. He's there still screaming, leave me alone, duh. And after, he just ended up going back to his bed and sleeping. After he apologized and that. But I'm like, bro, like, we're 2 men in a cell, bro. You can't be out here sleeping butt naked, bro. With no pants on. Like, that's kind of gay.
At 21, do inmates bully older inmates?
Inmates bully the elderly.
Bullying the elderly in prison? Let's get into this. Now, for the most part, this is not really allowed in prison. Unless this person did something to you or didn't pay a debt or they told on somebody. But if this is your average old person, normally people leave people alone in prison. Plus, there's also inmates that will stick up for this individual. There are people that have a heart in prison. But that don't change the fact that prison is a very dangerous place. And at the end of the day, the only person that truly has your back is you. Nobody in here has your back. They act like your friend because they want something from you. And once you don't provide what they want, then you're just expendable. And this is a value in life in general. This is what prison taught me. When I first started making money on the internet, no one believed in me. Now there's hundreds of thousands of inmates that copied me exactly. And hey, I'm here for it. I want to see people turn their pain into profit. And that's facts.
At 22, this is what goes down in women's prison. Take a look.
My oh my, has it been an eventful day here. So rumor has it, because I've been in my unit all day, so I don't know for certain because I didn't see anything, but rumor has it that one of the girls that are level 3s shoved shit in an officer's mouth, and then around the same time, one of the white shirts apparently was, I don't know, kicked or something. And then they said when the officer went to spray the girl, they sprayed this. They said when the officer in the unit went to spray the girl that like kicked her, he missed the inmate and accidentally sprayed the sergeant. That's crazy. We don't really hear about staff getting like fought or assaulted or anything here like that. It happens every blue moon because the one that got beat up by girls all the time, he's retired now. But it's something about him that would just make a girl go crazy.
At 23, this inmate said her daughter was dying from cancer. Seconds later, he was enjoying food and tobacco.
Just for reference, I'm a correctional officer, okay? So I go into posting, you feel me? I go to post, and I'm getting briefed, and they're telling me that this one inmate want to use the phone for whatever reason, right? I'm like, all right. Just the first thing I do when I go in this fucking pod, I go up there, I go talk to dude. I'm like, yo, like, what's going on? I'm like, look, man, like, you ain't gonna let me use the fucking phone, like, don't even talk to me. They should have already told me that you wanted to use the phone, they didn't let you, but I'm here to talk to you about what the fuck is going on. You know, maybe for something serious, like, I can help you, but you gotta talk to me. You like, look, bro, like, man, you on bullshit. If you don't want to use the phone, you gonna let me out, or you're not. You only got the key. At this point, it's the beginning of my shift, so I'm not even tight about nothing. I'm not mad. I'm like, you know what, bro? Obviously, you mad about whatever, but what do you need to use the phone for? He like, man, like my daughter, she got cancer, she in the hospital, she fucking dying, bro. She dying. And this nigga is crying in my face, bro. So I'm like, you know what? I'll let you use the phone. I'm sorry to hear that. Go ahead, my nigga. I proceed to open the door. This nigga comes out, walks downstairs. So I go do my walk. I just got there, do my walk, make sure everybody good. Nigga, as I'm doing my rounds, I see this nigga go to another cell and grab some tobacco. I'm like, you know what? Maybe he just trying to get a little tobacco. Nigga stressing. Then he'll go to the phone, surely, and call his dying daughter. This nigga proceeds to go past that tobacco to another nigga and grab some macaroni and fucking cheese. Nigga, I get done doing my walk. I'm like, nigga, what are you doing? He's like, bro, why you on my ass, bro? Why you trying to check me? Go talk to them other niggas. I'm like, you know what, bro? You got it, bro. Do what you gonna do. So I leave the pod. I got inmates coming back from rec. I gotta get them back into their pod. So as I'm letting niggas into the pod that live there, this nigga walks out. I'm like, nigga, where are you going? He's like, bro, I'm a black man. You want my ass. Why don't you go check niggas walking to the pod? They don't even live there. First of all, I know for a fact that niggas live in the pod. So I'm like, gang, I'm talking to you and I'm talking about you. You said you was going to call your fucking dying daughter, and now you're out in the rotunda trying to go to Charlie Pod. You're like, you a black man, you on me. Ah! I'm like, bro, you're a fucking liar. Why would you lie? You're like, bro, I'm not lying about shit, bro. I'm not lying about shit. My nigga, you haven't used the phone in the last 15 minutes since you've been out. So you're a fucking liar. I'm like, you know what, bro? You got it. Then when it's finally time to lock down, the nigga was in the rotunda for the past fucking hour. Sent the nigga back to a cell. Nigga, I do a round, maybe about 30 minutes later, go to a cell. Nigga, high as shit. Moral of the story, them inmates ain't shit. Ain't never gonna be shit. Them niggas just a whole bunch of liars. And they're pretty good at it.
At 24, most people who end up in prison are homeless. Imagine you get homeless in prison.
Homeless in prison. Did you know homeless in prison is really a thing? And around winter time, all these guys that are homeless will actually go commit a small case so they can go to prison or jail and they don't have to sit out there in the cold and freeze. I was once homeless in prison. I actually was just homeless in prison. But I was living in a bad situation. I was living in a shed. I was running from felony warrants, and it was the middle of winter and it was freezing. And to be honest with you, when I went to jail, it was a little bit better. I didn't have to deal with the cold and I could wake up and get a free meal, 3 of them. But it's sad that we have to go through something like this to get off the streets. Even though we make our own choices and we put ourselves in a lot of situations, it still isn't right for a human being to have to live on the streets and to do a crime to go get off away from the cold. Homeless in jail.
At 25, this HMP inmate told a crazy fucking story.
Yeah, been in 20 all, bro, with Kane. And the screws were terrorising us, lad. So we've been on the yard, like 15 of us, and I've said, look, let's grab a screw when we go in and take his keys, we'll get out of the jail. I've come in, lad, and all these run away, left me all banged up, shit themselves, I've just run at the biggest screw, jumped up, grabbed him, took his keys off him, had him on a netting for hours, and that the governors have come, all negotiators have come, they're like, get down, and that, get down, and like, fuck off, and that, so when getting down, took me the block, had me down here 155 days, I thought I'm gonna play at your own game, so when I got in the shower fully dressed, yeah, and the screws are going, look, your Scouts is losing it. I'm going, I haven't lost nothing, mate. I'm dry, you're losing it, thinking I'm wet. They're going, Scouts, are you alright? And that's all. I've got in me pad, just got in the corner, boys, yeah. Put the bed sheet over me head, went, like I was losing it, like I was proper going, yeah. Mental health practitioner come in at about 7:20 that night. I sat there for about 4 hours. She left the room at about 11 o'clock in the night in a prison. And I just stared at her for 4 hours, bro. The next day, lad, a taxi was there in reception, lad, and took me to High Point Jail, bro, and got me on an open billet bag where I was open all night. Smashed it, bro, absolutely shut the jail.
At 26, he was about to beat his celly ass for apples. Yes, apples.
I was about to beat my celly out his sleep with a bag of apples that I had because I lost my fucking drugs one night. So boom, we in the cell. Every week we get commissary and shit. He get a bean bag, I get a bean bag. A bean bag is $100 bag, you feel me? One day my bean bag come, they give my man a pack of noodles. Some weird shit was going on with his payment. We cellies. I'm like, bro, you know I got you, you feel me? You not gonna starve in this joint, you my man. I got the shit, but you gonna cook. My man make a mean chichi. I'm like, bet, mind you. He just moved in the cell like a week. I'm not gonna say a week. He been in here for like a month. So boom, I'm like, bet, you gonna cook? He like, all right, bet. So boom, it's time to cook and shit. I got my little radio. They playing 100 fucking Glorilla songs on Power 99. That shit burning me out, but I'm rolling. I got my little piece of Suboxone and shit. I got a half of Suboxone, but I took a little piece of it, put it under my tongue. Now I'm vibing. This how niggas get high in jail. You feel me? So I'm like, all right, bet. You feel me? He chopping up the shit. He making the shit. I forget where I put my subs at. So I'm like, damn, bloody, like, it's only me and you in this joint, you feel me? I ain't going, like, I'm like, where the fuck I go? Like, I lost my shit, where the fuck I go? He talking about to the moon. Nigga chopping up the food, he not making no eye contact with me, none of this shit. In my mind, oh yeah, bitch, you got my shit. Your food ain't coming this week. You wanna fucking play with me, that's gonna go for some money out here. I'm gonna put the, listen, stop playing with me, you feel me? Mind you relatively new in this cell, so I'm like, oh yeah, bet. Soon as his eyes go close to sleep, I'm gonna tell you what I was gonna do to this nigga, you feel me? So boom. The nigga, he finished making the food or whatever, yada yada. I'm still searching the cell. I put it in my head. I'ma hurt him already. Something in my mind told me, check your fucking underwear. So I look at my drawers and shit. I got the spandex ethies on. Straight find my shit. I tell him like, damn, bloody, I'm glad I found my shit. He like, yo, you found it? I'm like, yeah, bro. Cause like if I didn't find it, I was gonna take that big ass bag of apples I got from behind my pillow, bro. As soon as your eyes went to sleep, I was going to grab you by your ankle off the top bunk, pull you off. Your head was going to hit the metal table in that bitch, and you know it don't move, you feel me? I was going to finish you down with the apples, you feel me, and put you under your bed. Hit the look on that nigga face was like, yo, I don't even want to eat with you no more, bro. But I was laughing, though, because I'm cracking up. I'm like, no, bro, I'm happy it ain't had to be all that, you feel me? But he like, yeah, like, I don't really fuck with you after that. And I felt bad as shit because we Muslim. Like, he's another Muslim in my cell. And it was during the month of Ramadan. A stagger for Allah, bro. I'm so shout out.
At 27, imagine you were walking and suddenly some inmates start sucker punching you.
They're going to get it. Watch out.
Sucker punching someone in prison? Let's speak on it. First of all, there's no rules in a fight, especially in a prison fight. In this video, this guy runs up behind him when he's not paying attention. He gets to swinging on him. It's actually kind of funny because the kid that's like attacking is throwing punches like a little girl on a playground. To me, I don't consider this a strike. But hey, at least he did put in the work. It's better than talking about it and not doing nothing. I'm just saying, if you really are going to sucker punch somebody, you at least got to put them to sleep. Stay free, y'all.
At 28, have you ever seen an inmate beating cops? Watch this.
Two cops power trip on inmate, then mace him, and he beats both cops up.
That's something I'm gonna tell you. Last time I'm saying it. Turn around and cuff up. Please don't. Cuff up!
Now, this video was absolutely insane. And obviously I can't post it on here. So I posted it right here on my X account if you guys want to check it out. If I was you, I would. In this video, this inmate was telling these officers, like, look, go get your sergeant. I want to talk to your sergeant, not you guys. You guys don't understand what's going on. I want to talk to your sergeant. And both of these cops were on a power trip. And he was saying, please just go get me your sergeant. And they have to follow a COC, which is a chain of command. And this is the same thing for officers on the street. That's why if you get pulled over, you can tell them, hey, I want to talk to your lieutenant or your sergeant. Long story short, it was a female officer and a male officer. And he ended up beating up both of them very badly. To the point where the male officer was laying on the ground after getting stomped and he was crying man tears. And you can hear him cry throughout the whole audio of the video. This is one of the first videos I've seen where you get the POV of a cop getting stomped out by an inmate. And that's facts.
At 29, again, Fleece Johnson recalls a memory of meeting a man in real life who used to eat his butt in prison.
Turned around, jacked out, and shot it out in his face. You pay me $100. I seen a guy that used to eat my butt. Paid me. Hey, police. I said, yeah. I give you $100. Let me eat your booty. I been over. He had me on my tiptoes. He knows how to eat it too. Turned around, jacked out, and shot it out in his face. You pay me $100. I seen time I took him up to $500. And these people here, they like it in prison, man. And so I seen him on the streets in Kroger. I'm over shopping. Last person I want to see is somebody out of the penitentiary, right? And cause I ain't in all that stuff no more. And he had his woman with him and his kids. He said, police? I said, Tim, what's up, man? He said, man, what's up? I heard you was out, man. You got some stuff on YouTube. Yeah. Yeah, man, keep it real out here though, bruh. Oh, he said, this is my wife, Therese. And she was fine too, man. And he said, this is my son, Derek, and Jason. I said, how y'all doing, little man? Hi. But she don't know that how he is.
At 30, attention, ladies and gentlemen, what happens to predators behind them bars?
This little youngin' comes in, man. He couldn't have been no more than 15, 16, man. Comes in, he's real skinny, real frail, real pale. I knew he was gonna have problems. But he called himself talking tough. Being a tough guy, talking about he was a Crip from Northern Virginia. He was cripping. So the Crips pulled up on him. It was like, you Crip? What's up? Da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, fool, I'm Crip. Da-da-da. I'm that. I'm this and that. All right. Well, you know when it comes time to put in work, you got to put in work. But we're going to check your credentials. And what they mean by checking your credentials is they're going to call home. They're going to try to find out who your big homie is and if you're for real. This guy couldn't display any credentials at all, man. He couldn't display nothing. I come in from the rec yard one day, right? And it was a normal hot summer day, man. We were lined up for the showers. Yo, I'm next. All right, let me get after you. All right, cool. Hey, hold me down. That's all you hear as you walk downstairs. Hey, let me get that third shower after you, bro. You gotta call your place in the shower so you know when you can go wash your ass. Well, I noticed a group of dudes was kind of acting funny, man. Whenever there's tension on a yard or in a prison or in a pod or in a cottage, wherever you're at, you're going to feel it. It's a human instinct. You feel this shit. It's like everything else goes silent and all you can focus on is that one particular thing. I saw them kind of group up and I saw them moving towards the shower. I seen dude, the white dude, call, hey, let me get after you. All right, bet. Now, when the white boy went into the shower, the Crip dudes kind of like moseyed in front and wouldn't really let nobody in. Yo, you gotta wait, homie. Hold tight, we got business. Everybody thought they were gonna just beat this dude ass or something. You know, like it was just, they were gonna V him out. Everybody knew he was fraudulent. I knew he was fraudulent. Everybody did. We were just waiting on him to beat his ass. We're kids. We're thinking they're gonna beat his ass. That's it.
At 31, while prison wives are pain in the ass to date, watch this.
Prison wives. Now before we get into this, let's make this clear. I do not have nothing against no man in prison or any man that's on the flip side. For that matter, I'm not bashing anybody. All I'm saying is when you woke up that morning and decided you was looking for love when you went and reached out to somebody in prison, you need to be full aware of what you're getting yourself into. And the not knowing is what's scary. It's already scary enough for your man to be incarcerated in hopes that he come home. But to go find somebody that's incarcerated and not know who they are, that they can be like this, or they can be a killer, a robber, a murderer, anything, and you go fall in love with them. And although these certain people deserve a chance too, they don't deserve to be around your family, your kids, or none of that until you figure out who they are. So stop going looking for trouble, because if you keep looking for it, you're gonna find it. Get to know that person, because we go through all type of mental, psychological things while we locked up. And just to come right out and just be a part of a family is the hardest thing in the world you'll ever have to adapt to. God bless y'all.
At 32, what if you fail a heart check on your day one?
Failing a heart check in prison.
Failing a heart check in prison? Let's get into this. Now, when you get sentenced to prison, as soon as you touch down, somebody is going to hit you up and give you a heart check. It's pretty much inmates' ways of finding out if you were tough or you're even about that life or you're going to stand up for yourself. Because there's inmates in prison that are broke and they get no money. So if they see a weak inmate, they're going to start trying to extort that person for whatever they have. And if they know they can just take your stuff and you're not going to do nothing about it, they're going to do it. But if they know you will stand up and fight for what you have, the chance of them leaving you alone is a lot bigger. Now, a heart check is also if you're part of an organization and you go into a section, the people that are from your organization are going to hit you up. What's up, man? Where you from? Or opposing gang members will. And you got one chance to rep where you're from. Because if you don't rep where you're from, they're just going to kick you out the car. And that's facts.
At 33, Fleece Johnson on seeing an inmate carrying 18 inches of meat in his trousers.
But they made him wear special underwears in prison that the prison had a sew, cause his ding dong was so long. He had about like an 18-inch thing, bro. If he wore regular underwears, half of it would come out through the pants leg of the underwears. That's how big his thing was, how long. So what he used to do is cut the hole in his pants pocket and put his thing up through the hole. And so he'll go talk to one of these ladies and be sitting there talking to her with his hands in his pocket. He, you know, especially in the winter, ooh, it's cold, but he's jacking himself off, right? It's cold out here, like that, and they be going for it. And then when the head pop up through the pants pocket, and the lady see what's in his hands, they start screaming, ah! And then he come out and go up there, tackle him, wrestle him down, and stuff like that. But Pappy, hey, and white girls and nurses, they come through, and he'll get them. That's when he had them underwears, the regular underwears. He said, yeah, I like to get some cold tie. He'll be walking up there, and that thing will come through the. She said, is that his thing? Is that his thing come through his, oh my God, what is that? And then, the guard said they're gonna have the sewing class sew him some underwear, put an extra sleeve on there where his thing would come up through there. And that happened, man, it's crazy.
At 34, how does it feel to have a bitch behind bars?
This right here, this is my wife right here. See what I'm saying?
Having a wife in prison? Let's get into this. Now, where I was locked up at, this is not allowed, but it does happen. Now, when I was locked up, there was literally a whole section of lifers that all had girlfriends. And that whole section was a PC section, which means they were all in maximum security. Some people that have a life sentence literally don't care after they get that much time. Now, those inmates weren't allowed to live around other inmates that were in GP or general population. But obviously those inmates rather be in a prison relationship than actually be in general population. Now, prisoners run prisons, it's not the COs. So, if you bat for that team, you're literally not allowed to be on the yard. Now, the cops don't technically let it happen, but they can't really stop it. But everybody knew what was up. They would call it the punk section. And the inside joke between all inmates is, let me find out you came from that section. And that's facts.
35. Watch this inmate desperately screaming and calling the police.
Prison inmate frantically trying to check in.
Inmates desperately trying to check in prison? Let's speak on it. This man right here is terrified for his life. He's at the window screaming for the COs. It doesn't seem like the COs care. The whole rest of the unit is trying to pull him off this ledge. I don't know what he did to be in this situation, but I've seen stuff similar to this, and usually it's over running up a huge debt or someone did something horribly wrong to somebody in a powerful organization. Grown man holding on to the window screaming for his life, pleading like, yo, let me out of here. This is why you never let yourself get involved in BS, let alone to get into prison. But if you're unfortunate enough to experience prison, just stay out the way as much as you possibly can. Stay free, yo.
At 36, have you ever seen inmate freak shows?
Inmate freak shows in prison.
Inmate freak shows in prison? Let's speak on it. Now, when you're in prison, you're supposed to mind your own business no matter what is going on around you to an extent. But if you know some crazy freaky deaky stuff is going down in the cell, walking up to the window and watching is definitely sus on your part. It'll be guys just like the guy at the beginning with the locks that was watching, trying to hate on somebody else in the street or trying to act super masculine and all that extra stuff, trying to hide what they're really into. Any prison or jail that I've been to, if you knew something like that was happening, which was rare because people did it very discreetly on their own time, if everyone knew that you was in the window, they're gonna treat you as if you are one of them. But I'm not hating on anybody's preference, that's your choice. But when it comes to prison and the politics, certain things just will not fly, no matter who you are or who you're affiliated with. Stay free, y'all.
Well, at 37, he was incarcerated for taking money from someone who worked in the corn industry.
Good morning, TikTok. We're here today to give you guys some info as to why I was incarcerated for so long. It's not an easy story to tell, especially considering I don't really think I can say it on here on TikTok without being banned or maybe warned or something like that. So I'm going to do the best to put this together for you guys in a way that's subtle. I was incarcerated for, I had went somewhere with my cousin to pick someone up, and it turned out to be a sting operation. So basically, I wasn't going to commit any crimes of any sort. I was actually just in the wrong place at the wrong time with someone. Considering my background, didn't make anything look better. So I had got charged with a conspiracy as well as this next charge. I don't know how to say it. I'm gonna say I got charged with andering. You're gonna have to add a letter in front of that. The first letter is gonna be a P. So if you can put those two together and, I don't know, maybe do the math. To explain it to you in English, basically I was living off of the earnings of someone who works
in that industry.
In the adult industry, I guess, not legally. So yeah, basically I was living off of the earnings of someone who did adult stuff. So, and it was illegal. So there it is there. I just wanted to clarify with you guys. A lot of you don't know me yet on TikTok, but I know I'm gonna get judged. I just want to let you guys know that I really do not care. A lot of you don't know me. This girl knows me, that I don't care about what anyone says. I don't know why I'm like that, but you can't hurt my feelings. So be my guest to, you know, put me down and kick me while I'm ground, because I'm no longer on the ground. I don't care. I'm gonna be something regardless of what each and every one of you say. For the people that support us and are here for us, thank you guys so much. We appreciate you guys for everything you've done. I truly am blessed and appreciate you for being here for my fiance. I don't know how she made it through, but she did. She made it look really easy. It's not really easy. So thank you guys so much. We're going to continue to bring you guys content and try to be here for you guys. And support you guys. Hopefully you stick to us throughout this whole journey. And yeah, we love you guys so much. Thank you guys again for being here with us, and we'll keep the videos coming.
At 38, female inmates hustle behind bars. Here's how.
Now watch and learn how I hustle the men for commissary money. Hey baby, I miss you too. I'm having a rough day. Just, you know, they went to canteen and I couldn't go, and then, you know, just my friend gave me a soup. Yes, yeah. No, we can go again tomorrow. Yeah, I was hungry, so my friend gave me a soup. I borrowed one. You will. Thanks, babe. I love you so much. I miss you. Oh, they're calling count. I'll call you back later, okay? I love you. Thank you. Make sure it goes in my books before the morning. Okay, bye. Number one. Hey, Daddy. Nothing, just came in from rec. Yeah, I'm okay, I guess. No, just wanted to go to canteen, but I couldn't. I need money to go. I miss you too. No, I borrowed some food from my friend. Yeah, it's fine. I can give it back tomorrow. You will. Thank you so much. I love you. Thank you so much for being there for me. Oh, they're calling child. I gotta go because I didn't get to eat nothing. I'll call you back later. Okay. Love you, right? Let's go for 3. Hey, baby. I know, counting down the days. I know, but don't worry, I'll be home soon. Then you'll get to see me every single day. Yes, we're gonna get married. I love you too. Of course I'm gonna come home to you. Yeah, but tomorrow I'm gonna go to the store because I didn't get to go today because the money wasn't on there. Okay, just make sure it's on there before 8 o'clock. I love you. I can't wait to get home to you. Yeah. Oh, they're calling count. I love you. I gotta go. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Okay, I love you. Bye.
At 39, Fleece Johnson on one of the best booties behind them bars.
He had grip in his ass, man. He had, man, that ass was it tight? Oh my God. Was it a version of that tonight? It was juicy, man. He had grip in his ass, man. That was like a vice grip. It gripped my so good. That was too much, bro. He said I put too much in. He said that's too much, man. I punished him, man. I was punishing that ass, man. I punished his ass for real, man. And I got done, man. His ass, cause he's yellow. It was, red, man, or like, motherfucker been banging, right? I could see how I pulled it out and looked at it. And it was just sitting open, like, and I stuck it back in. And I put marks all over his neck. I'm letting it be known he's a bitch. I put them the other day on with your neck. Oh. He said, man, I think I got a rash. Ain't no rash. Police been putting marks on you, bro.
So everybody in jail knew you was taking that booty?
I didn't take his booty.
You fought him 8 times and you taking booty.
At 40, is prison really that dangerous? Watch this.
Listen up, kids. This is how dangerous prison is. You see everybody have a shank and a knife. Meanwhile, you're sitting on the couch thinking shit's sweet. It's not. Going to prison does not make you cool. And if you think you can just go to prison and fly under the radar, probably not. If you go to prison, you are putting your life in danger. There's going to be a lot of people in there that don't like you. And there's people that have been sentenced to 5 life sentences. You think they're going to care if you're having a bad day? You think they're not going to pick on you and antagonize you and try to get you to react? Trust me, they're doing all of that. A lot of people say go to prison and fly under the radar. But in reality, that makes you a bigger target. If you stick to yourself and you don't try to make at least 1 or 2 friends, people are going to think you're just some timid person. And once they think you're timid and soft, they're going to start trying to take advantage of you. Meanwhile, you should have just listened to me or your parents, and you would never be in prison. And that's facts.
At 41, watch this gay man describing his life behind bars.
So when I was a senior in high school, I dropped out and went to Job Corps. Why did I drop out of high school in the 12th grade and go to Job Corps? Because I make terrible decisions, bitch. Honestly, I'm 26. I didn't start getting my life together until I was around 26. No shade. So what is Job Corps? Job Corps is a trade school you go to learn a trade, obviously. It either sets you up for life or you become a drug addict, or both. Or in my case, neither. You go to jail, bitch. Job Corps was very ghetto and I was a troubled teen, so I fit right in, bitch. So, if you fight at Job Corps though, that's automatic termination. So I end up getting into a fight. Well, when I get into this fight, I'm thinking I'm just terminated, I'm going home. Well, no, bitch, I get arrested and go to jail. Mind you, I'm from Houston, the north side. You gotta know that. But the Job Corps I went to was in a very small town. So when I get arrested and go to jail, everybody in this jail already knows each other. Now, we had to sit in a holding cell for 24 hours. So I'm the only person who they don't know. So everybody started talking to me. They asked me what my name is. And I'm like, Eddie. They could tell by my voice I'm gay as fuck. So now I'm in the holding cell and I'm calling my mama, begging her to bond me out because I don't want to be in here. I'm holding back tears and everybody looking at me. I don't want to look like fresh meat to all these fine ass Latino men. Or maybe I do. One of the boys in the cell was also gay. Me and him start talking and we click instantly. Now, we have to be in this holding cell for 24 hours, mind you. Me and him ain't getting no sleep. Me and that bitch was talking the whole 24 hours, bitch. Now, after 24 hours, if you don't make bond, you have to go into the actual jail. Well, neither of us made bond. My mom was trying to get the money, but she ain't have it yet. So I had to dress out in a fucking jumpsuit and go be a motherfucking prisoner, bitch. Mind you, we in a small town, so everybody in this jail know each other, so they know he gay. As soon as I walk in with him, they already know I'm gay as fuck too. Now, my homeboy was a Jezebel, bitch, so he done fucked half of the jail already, right? So we get up in the tank and they already on that type of timing because they know my homeboy, right? So we in the tank, they giving us commissary, the AC jumping in this bitch, the food good as fuck, no shade. So a few days go by, we playing chess, we playing kickball, no shade. I'm having the time of my motherfucking life. I'm having such a good time in jail right now, I forget to call my motherfucking mama. So my mama is so worried about me, she calls up there to check on me. So I answer the phone, I'm like, oh hey mama. She's like, what's going on, are you okay? I said, yeah, I'm great. Not only am I having the time of my life, but I also have a little boyfriend in there now. One of the dudes from my tank, me and him been talking. So my mama is like, I got the bond money, I'm about to come bond you out. And I'm like, wait, hold on mama, no shade, I'm gonna just do my time, love. My mama's like, I have the bond money, why don't you want to come home? You want to stay in jail? Well, yes.
Yeah, nigga, I ain't coming home, nigga. I hate home, nigga. Never. I hate home, nigga.
So like I said, I had Lil Boo in there. Now, me and him didn't have sex, but we used to like flirt. He would give me stuff. I would like cuddle with him. You know, little playful shit. My friend, though, he had a boyfriend also, but him and the boyfriend was fucking. Now, one night, I was finna fuck with my dude, right? But my friend, he pulled me aside. He said, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I know this boy, he probably has something. He gonna give you something. Don't fuck with him. So now I'm blowing him off, right? So after I tell him I don't want to fuck, he cut me off. He stopped talking to me. I'm not getting no more honey buns, no more ramen noodles. He cut me off completely. Mind you, he lived 10 feet away from me, but he don't fuck with me no more. Okay, so cool. Now he trying to fight with me, right? He want to argue with me. He want to nitpick at me. So one day I go the fuck off on him. We damn near about to fight, right? Everybody breaks us up. Well, me and my homeboy, we go to rec. We play our kickball, right? When we come back, he gone. He at medical. These motherfuckers said that he said when I go to sleep tonight, he gonna stab me in my sleep. Now, I can fight all day. Bitch, I'm from Houston. Ain't no hoe in my blood. But when you trying to kill me, there's a little bit of hoe in my blood. So, I go snitch. No shade, I go snitch. They ask me if I want to press charges on him. I say no, just put me somewhere else. So they put me in protective custody. This was great for me. I had my own shower, my own bed, my own room. My mama put some money on my books, so I'm getting commissary. I'm reading novels. Like, this is a really good time for me. The only downside is that I never got my friend's information, so I'm like, damn, I'm never gonna see him again, and that was my, like, real good friend. Well, a week goes by, the lieutenant comes, he says, hey, I don't want you to be in PC like this, I want to make you a trustee. So I go into the trustee tank. When I get in this tank, this shit got 24 people in it, open showers with no curtains, open toilets. I said, take me the fuck back to protective custody immediately. Come to find out though, my friend was in the tank. So he sees me and I see him. We go, oh my gosh, and we hug. Mind you, there's 22 other grown ass men up in here. All we hear is, man, what the fuck? These niggas start going crazy. Bitch, I forgot we was in jail. I said, oh my fucking God, why would we do that dumb ass shit? So the guards had to come calm everybody down. Once they did that though, there was so much tension in the motherfucking air, we were terrified. All that gay shit we did over there, yeah, that's out the window, bitch. We in jail now, for real, for real. So now I tell my friend like, hey, look, I'm about to bond out and leave. I don't feel safe. This motherfucker start crying and begs me to stay. So I feel bad. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just do my time with you, right? Now, we're trustees, so we have to go work. Well, he had to go to court, so I go to work, right? When I get off work, he gone. The motherfuckers tell me this motherfucker went to court and got out. Ain't leave me no note or nothing. Bitch, I stayed in jail for you, and you gonna get out and leave me and not even leave a note? Okay, so now I'm sitting down at the table by myself eating my food. A group of these motherfuckers start walking towards me now. Now I'm thinking they about to jump me. So I stand up. And they like, hey, bro, we not on that. So I'm like, what's up? So basically, they tell me they don't got no issue with me. They had an issue with my friend. The reason why they had an issue with my friend, like I told y'all, everything in this tank is open. So the showers are open. My friend was watching the dude shower. They don't have no curtains. He watching them shower. So when I came in the tank and hugged him, automatically they had an issue with me because I was his friend. But now that he gone, they ain't got no problem with me. So good. I could do my time and be great. But bitch, I'm in jail now. I'm not getting no commissary from them niggas. I'm not getting no motherfucking play. I don't have no gay friend. So I'm just a regular prisoner. I'm ready to get the fuck up out of here. So I call my mama and beg her to please come get me. She like, oh, what changed? I said, mama, please, I'm not in the mood right now. Just please come get me. I've been through so much. And she comes and gets me, bitch. And I leave and I never go back. Okay, I'm lying. I actually do go back, not to jail, but to that town. I'm gonna get into that another time. Moral of...
At 42, what if you catch an inmate sleeping in the laundry cart?
Inmate caught sleeping in a laundry cart in prison.
Inmate caught sleeping in the laundry cart in prison. Let's speak on it. I don't know if he's actually sleeping because it's comfortable or quiet, or if he's trying to hide from somebody. But anytime an inmate is willing to do some weird stuff like that you just wouldn't do as a grown man, you kind of just feel like they just gave up on life and they're at the mercy of everybody else in the prison. I just can't picture myself as a grown man being locked up and sleeping in the fetal position, hiding under blankets, or doing any other crazy stuff that you be seeing these people do. It's usually for a substance, and majority of the time because they're scared. So they just will do stupid stuff to entertain other inmates just so they're not getting extorted and etc. Make sure you guys are watching all my stories. If you're not following me, follow my page for more. Stay free, y'all.
At 43, after 10 years of serving your sentence, how does your last day feel like?
My last day of prison after serving 10 years. It was actually a pretty unique experience compared to what most people in prison getting released are going to go through, because when I got released, it was at the height of the pandemic that was going on. So this required our prison to quarantine any inmates who were being released 14 days prior to them being released. So my last 2 weeks, they stuck me in a cell all by myself, locked in there for 24 hours a day, other than coming out, taking a 5-minute shower and coming back. But I didn't really mind this. You know, after 10 years, you kind of, you know, I did well with being by myself and just my thoughts, you know, and I was kind of glad for it because, you know, number one, when you're about to go home, I mean, those last 2 weeks even are just crucial. Am I going to get in any fights or any altercations or situations? I mean, this is the time where you don't want anything bad to happen that might get you in trouble or anything to prolong your time in there. My time to leave is now, you know, so at that point, you're ready to avoid any incidents at pretty much any cost. So that kind of takes you right out of that risky territory, which is the prison cell block. So I was thankful for that. And I'm in the cell alone, and it kind of, I treated it as a moment to decompress and try to just mentally and emotionally let go of everything that I had been through, all the scary times, the good times, the ups and downs, the lonely times, the hopeless times. Let go of all that related to prison. Leave that chapter that I am now done with behind and get my mind right to enter back into society. But it was hard because as I'm pacing around this cell and I'm thinking about, how it's gonna be when I get out, I start worrying about a lot of stuff. I get anxiety about a lot of stuff. I'm worried I'm not gonna be able to socialize correctly. I could socialize, but it's just the people I've been socializing with and the things we talk about and just, really the topics of conversation for the last decade of my life are very, very different and specific to this group of people compared to what probably anybody else outside of prison that I'm going to see very soon, we'll be talking about. And, I'm worried about that. How has this changed me? Has it changed me so much that I'm not going to be able to fit back in with my old friends? Who are my friends even going to be? I got locked up when I was 20. I'm 30. My friends have families, houses, careers, kids. Who am I even going to be friends with? On top of that, especially on the last day, I got emotional. I get really emotional about some guys, about 2 or 3 guys specifically, who I had met back there. And I just, been through stuff with over the years. You get cellmates and you might spend 2 or 3 years, 4 years at a time with these guys, and you learn their whole life story, and they've learned my whole life story, and they learn my ongoing, things that are unfolding with family on the outside, and I hear theirs, and we're with each other, and or we get into something where the knives come out and we fight against people and we're side by side. This camaraderie, this brotherhood you feel with a very select few guys, or maybe you feed each other, you keep each other, fed when each other's hungry, and just, all types of things. And you these guys are good men, deep at the core of their heart, despite what they did to get there and the situation we're in. And it was emotional for me, and it kind of brought some tears to my eyes to know I'm leaving them behind. They got 7, 8, 9, 10 more years to do, and I'm leaving. I'm going, and who knows if ever I'll see them again, or how long it'll be before I do. And so that was difficult for me, especially on that last day. But I'm in my cell, and I'm at this point there's never a more antsy and impatient and anticipatory time in your sentence than this last day when you're waiting to get called. It's like 5 a.m. Didn't get any sleep that night. I think I slept from 11 to 2, and I just couldn't go back to sleep. And they call you out at 5. And all the guys who are going home that day, they get them, and you get your mat, you get your stuff, and everybody's throwing all their stuff away. Nobody wants to bring, I don't want any of this crap. You're throwing it all away or giving it away to somebody you might see out on the way when they're walking you up to the front building where you're going to be released from. But they'll have you in this holding cell with everybody from about 5, 6 a.m. till like 10, 11, 12 that day. And that's how long it takes just to process everybody's paperwork and check them in the computer and the database and just get all this stuff sorted out. It's just a big waiting game. And I'm in this holding cell, and everybody's, they give you these clothes, they give these certain clothes, real cheap clothes to everybody. They just still feel like prison clothes. And everybody's in there, and they got their little folders with their paperwork, their parole, and their gun papers, can't own a gun, everything you've signed. And everyone's just waiting and talking. And some people are saying how so-and-so's coming to pick me up, or this is who, or this is what I'm going to do, or I got this. And and I tried to join in on that conversation and match the vibe of that, but I couldn't help this overwhelming feeling of dread that was just in the back of my mind. Something's going to go wrong. Something's going to happen. It can't be. There's no way I'm going home today.
At 44, meet Diddy's grandpa. Seriously.
Oh, that was fuck, cause he makes a slapping noise, right? He got that. and it popped. He said, wiped his mouth and looked at the guards and hollered, "You white motherfuckers, y'all got me fucked up. You know, y'all kiss my ass. They said, get in your cell." So when they ran up the steps to check on the little white dude, he was standing in his, sitting on his bed. They said he was sitting on his bed. He's messed up. He don't know what to think. Little white guy, he ain't did nothing but, they said he didn't have nothing but a burglary charge. And they sent him to Eddyville. This big black boy took his, and so I met him. Then, I'll tell you, y'all after doing trouble, y'all heard all this stuff about penitentiary, then you heard your friends. Let me tell you about your friends, the lies that your friends will tell you.
At 45, this woman was sentenced to more than 20 years because of some crazy shit.
Time. Did you hear the story about the woman who was sentenced to more than 20 years in prison? She knew she had did the crime, so she was willing to do the time, and she said she's going to keep a low profile and stay out of trouble. But while she was in prison, there was a male correction officer who was in there, and he was known for being an a-hole. And he also had a wife who was assigned to the same block, and she was known for being an a-hole. So the woman was like, oh my gosh, if I just stay out of their way, nothing gonna happen. Well, one day, the male correction officer comes to her and takes away her necklace. Now she's like, I have a receipt for this. It's totally legal and legit in here. There's no reason for him to take my stuff. So she goes and files a report against him. And it's found that he did take it away illegally and unlawfully, so she was able to get it back. But after that, his wife was looking at her with the side eye. Well, one day she was just chilling in her cell, just hanging out. And then the wife, the female correction officer, comes inside and says, hey, stand up, get up, pop your locker. You going to have a shakedown. So she was like, oh my gosh, okay, no problem. You know, she know she wasn't doing anything, you know, and had no problems. So she popped the locker and stood to the side like, go ahead, search it, do what you need to do. So the corrections officer looks at her, goes to a locker, and after a second, she comes out and pulls out a ring box. And the inmate was like, what? Where did she get that from? Because I know I don't have no ring box. And the correction officer walks outside, stands in front of the office and says, look what we found here, and pulls out a baggie of grass. And she's like, I don't do nothing like that. I don't smoke nothing like that. I don't know where she got that from. And the corrections officer was like, you going to lockdown. And she was like, what? And sure enough, they took her to lockdown for possession. And she was sitting in there like, I cannot believe this. As they closed that door, clank, they locked her in by herself, solitary confinement. And she's like, oh my gosh, you know, I got to figure out how to get out of here because these people have it in for me. Well, the next day she was allowed to file another report, and she wrote down what happened and asked them to please review it. And they did. They came back to her and said that once they reviewed the footage, they saw that the woman had actually planted the grass inside her locker, and they saw it on camera. Well, she was so grateful and feeling so good. And then when she heard that they fired the woman, she was like, oh my gosh, I'm so relieved. I'm just trying to do my time with no issues. I don't want to have no problems. But she's still in lockdown. They haven't even released her yet. And one night she's there, she's sleeping. It's like 2 or 3 in the morning, and she hears a familiar sound. She hears, Arr!
At 46, Blueface reflects on one of the craziest shit he saw in jail.
What was the craziest thing that you went through while locked up?
Craziest thing? Probably when I had to like do something to my own friends, you know? Like I had like two homies that I kicked it with every day, you feel me? This particular day I fell asleep, you know? They was like, no, in the kind of like, yeah, not in the cell, but like, you know, like in and out my cell, whatever. I woke up to a lot of things missing, you know, a lot of things missing. And I approached them about it. I'm like, hey man, I'm missing, you know, what's up? You know anything? You seen anybody? Oh no, we don't know nothing. So they start playing the role like, oh man, what you want us to do? Help me look for it.
Help you look for the shit they stole.
Bro, you gonna help me look for it? Now I know you for sure stole it. Now you finna act like you finna help me find it. But I know you stole it. But it's 2 of them, right? So I'm like, I don't know which one stole it. So, man, I really didn't want to do it. I was really salty. Like, I'm like, damn, bro, I feel like a bitch right now. Like, these niggas really just stole from me. They playing dumb, acting like they helping me. They ready to trip and press. So I'm like, I'm sitting in my cell, I'm thinking like, damn, what could be the most loped out thing to do right now? I'm like, fuck, I gotta get out on both of them. That's the only way. I'm not finna try to pick and choose. And so boom, I get at the first dude. I'm like, look, bro, I need a fade, bro. We gotta get down. Right? I don't know. I don't care if you took it or not. We gotta get down because you too close to me to not be watching over a nigga type shit. He like, man, I'm not finna be fighting you in here, Blueface. Like, man, I'm trying to go home. I'm trying to be in here fighting you and woo-wham. One of his enemies walked by. I'm already gloved up. Now I'm looking like I'm finna dope feed him because now he turning my fade down and you stole from me. Now I'm just finna start beating on you. So one of his ops walked past. He got his little extras now like, all right, bro, I'll give you a fade, fuck it. I'm like, all right, I see. The nigga that walked past is messy because he did everything.
At 47, women get turned out in prison. Here's the reality.
Do girls in prison really get turned out? Spent 27 years in prison, been out 8 years. Let's talk about it. Women in prison are very persistent. They will not ease up. Their mindset is this: if there's a will, there's a way. You may come in there a married woman with your mind made up. I'm not messing with no woman. I'm not crossing the line. I'm being faithful to my husband. I can stand strong. But then you have that dominant woman that's been there for a little while, that's been doing this all her life, and she see you come through. She gonna stand back and she gonna observe you and she gonna check you out, and then she gonna sit and she gonna plot ways to come for you. She gonna find out if you're a broken woman, if you're a low self-esteem woman. She gonna find out everything about you. Dominant women are so persistent. They gonna find a way to get in. You know, whether it's bringing you flowers or coming and getting your shower stuff and hanging it up. You know, cause in there, you know, you got to run and fight for shower time. So this woman that's already established in the prison, she gonna make sure she get your towel and she gonna go throw it up on the rack for you and make sure everybody know that, hey, you ain't gonna touch her. You know what I'm saying? She right here. This her spot. So she gonna stand up for you. So the thing is this, you gonna like that. So you gonna open up a little bit and you gonna let her in. And she gonna find other little ways to creep in and get close to you. Now, let's go farther. Women know what women want. Another woman knows what to say to another woman when she's down. Another woman knows how to build up another woman when she's broken. Another woman knows exactly what to say when that other woman cried, when that other woman upset. See, by nature, we're nourishers. So we know how to come and stand beside you. We know how to bandage that pain. We know how to speak the words that's going to build you back up. See, you got to understand about women. We have power. A woman has power. And she knows exactly what to say to another woman. I ain't condoning it. I'm just being real about it. So now when it comes to the physical part, that woman already know what she desire. She know how she would want a man to touch her. Why? Because she has the same body parts you have. This other woman has the advantage with this woman physically because she knows. She already have the information. Whereas some men have to be taught. So then, when you find one that creep in and know how to just the way that you want, then you're going to open yourself up to that. Because we emotional. And the thing about women is that if you can tap into their emotion, you ain't even got to be physical. But if you can just get them here, you got them. And now to me, the most essential bonding between two women, especially in the prison, is trauma bonding. That's when you find two women that share the common thread of brokenness, low self-esteem. You know, they may have experienced some things in the prison with the officers that they don't even talk about, but they share these experiences and it opened them up in ways that's unimaginable. So she come beside you and she caters to you because you at a point, you're so broken, your husband out there cheating, your family ain't there for you, you're going through a hard time, and this woman building you up. And she bringing you flowers and laying flowers on your bed with a card that say, get well. I hope you recover soon. I hope you feel better soon. She fixing little meals for you because you don't have the energy to do anything for yourself. She get your clothes out, helping you get dressed. Man, that's the most dangerous bonding it is, because those are the ones that never forget you. They can go home and you can have a life sentence, but that woman gonna always write you and make sure that you are right because she appreciate what you did for her. But see, also that type of bonding can also lead to something physical. So it's easy in that environment. So to answer the questions, do girls in prison really get turned out? 97% of the women in prison have dipped their toe in the pond. They may say they have not, but they've crossed that line. Even if they just did it to pass time by, even if they was just gay for the state, they done it. They've experienced this woman-to-woman relationship in one way or another. Peace.
At 48, watch this inmate recalling his living experience in country jail.
Tell us about prison. Where'd they send you to?
County jail is no motherfucking joke. That's a gladiator school for real. You're in there and you're not in there with, nobody's classified when you immediately lose. So me, a marijuana guy, no violence on the jacket, never killed nobody. My first 2 bunkies was a double murderer and a murderer. You in there with dudes that is facing life without the possibility of parole. You literally locked up with dudes that's facing life. And like I told you, I'm not a big guy. I ain't no motherfucking sucker. But I'm in West Virginia. I'm not from West Virginia. There's a bunch of recovering meth dudes in there and a bunch of drug dealers and a bunch of murderers. And this is what I'm in there with. So, yo, it was a super interesting experience. I seen a lot of crazy motherfucking shit happen. I seen dudes get their fucking wig split. I seen dudes get stabbed. I seen makeshift. I seen a dude jump from the top tier on his head to try and commit suicide. You know, I heard his head pop. I see the blood, you know, rolling down the fucking pod. I see them have to, you know, I seen lockdowns. I seen them come up in there and mace everybody. I seen it all. So it was not a favorable experience. You know, but that was my life for the first year, right after I fell at trial, because, you know, they wanted to punish me. And if you looking at more than 10 years on a drug conviction back then, they wouldn't give you no bond, which is crazy as fuck to me, because white collar dudes would be facing 30 years and shit and be able to get out and get their affairs in order. But we already know, we know about just the way the laws was written and the way that the judges treated minorities a lot of time. And it's my opinion, not to turn into a race session, but a lot of the drug laws was discriminatory against minorities, and I was a minority. So a lot of the laws was written in such a way where they would say, well, if you are in a drug conviction facing more than 10 years, we're not going to give you bond. And then kind of find out, I think it was like Bernie Evers or one of them dudes that was on the WorldCom, this dude was facing 30 years and he was able to get a bond. I was like, what the fuck? I'm only facing a little over 10, but they didn't give me a bond. So they took me immediately and they locked me up. And you know, you feel like, you know, I've told this story before and described it as such because I used to own a boa constrictor. So when I was younger, I'd have a boa and we'd put rats in there. We'd feed them rats because we always hated rats. Rats and mice, but rats we enjoyed the most. And sometimes as soon as you get dropped in there, that boa would coil around them, you know, strangle the shit out of them and then swallow them. But sometimes the boa might not be hungry, but the rat would still know that his time is coming. And we'd look at him and we'd laugh and we'd see his heart pulsating because that rat knew that he was in there with something that was bigger than him
And I don't know what the rat knew in his mind. But, you know, we would look at that, and you'd see you'd see the fear in the rats. The rat wouldn't even want to move. Almost like if he could just not move, he would just disappear, and the ball wouldn't know he was in there. Well, that's how I felt when they first took me. You know, when I lost a trial, because they put you in this van. It's a cage inside of the van, and they take you into the bottom of the courthouse. It was the federal building, and then they take you to the county jail, and you're in there, you know, cuffed up at the ankles, around the waist, and the wrists. And I had never been to prison before, like I told you. I had been arrested before, but I never spent the night because I was always able to bail out and then get an attorney. In Atlanta, it was Renee Rockwell. She was always the one. Shout out to Renee Rockwell. I love you. Because she was the best attorney for me. She got a lot of dudes out, and when I caught all them smaller cases in my younger years, she would always get me out. But this was a different scenario. This was the federal government, and I was in there, and I lost the trial. And I knew for a fact that I was going to be going away for a substantial amount of time. So I said all of that to say that I felt like that rat, you know, just in there like a caged animal, heart pulsating. And the biggest and the scariest thing I think for most human beings is not knowing what to expect, you know, not knowing what is next. And so that's what it was like. So when I get in there, I remember it was August 19th, 2005. I'll never forget that day because we're in the ballpen, we're in the county jail. I'm in West Virginia, but I'm looking at the TV, the small TV that they had in there, and it was Katrina. That was the first day of Katrina. So I can never forget that day and the day of Katrina because that was the day that I fell. And so I'm in here and, you know, I'm in there. I'm in the county jails for over 10 months because I didn't do any cooperating, nothing like that. But, you know, I had attorneys and they wanted to prepare my PSR report. You know, they wanted to give as much mitigating information to it's either referred to as a PSR or PSI, which is pre-sentencing report or pre-sentencing investigation, depending upon which jurisdiction you're in. So, you know, it was about 4 or 5 months because my sentencing hearing wasn't until February, even though I fell in August. And they wanted to prepare all of that for me. So it took some time that I was there. I was in that county jail. And, it wasn't nothing nice. It was horrible. You know, you don't get to go outside. You're in there for 23 and a half hours a day or 23 hours a day. You might be able to go out to this little concrete area that they had, which was concrete. You're still in the jail. You know, you don't touch anything green. You don't see anything green. The sky above you has it has a covering over. You can see through it, but it's like a chain link fence of some sorts. You know, so it was a fucking nightmare, man. The food tasted like shit. And that was my life. That was my life for 5 or 6 months until you get sentenced. And then when you get sentenced, you got to go through diesel therapy, which they sent us to a couple of county jails in West Virginia. And then we had to go. It seemed like I was going to every county jail in Kentucky. And that's what I had to do. I had to go through Atlanta, holdover. Then they send you all the way out to Oklahoma. You know, I had to go through Tallahassee, just all over the fucking country. You know, it's a fucking joke. You know, you get to get on the plane, which is another joke. You get on that plane, you have to go to the actual runway, and they got marshals all over the place with guns, and you know, it's just like you see on Con Air. Like, the shit is real. Like, if you got to use the bathroom, they got to take you there. You know, they got to take you to the stool. They got to sit you on the toilet. Whatever you got to do. I try not to eat because you don't want to have to do that. You know, and it's just a long process of buses and planes and getting you up early to wait and going here, and you know, you gotta squat and squat. You gotta squat and
cough
and cough, strip, squat, and cough so many times that I damn near thought I was a stripper. You know, because that's what it is. That's what the life is, and you got to go through that whole fucking process, and then you know, they call it diesel therapy. But that's what you got to do if you're a federal inmate, and you gotta get from one destination to the next, and that's what you have to go through. And you know, so I went through it, and then so after I get sentenced, you know, that's when I started that whole process of going through all of that, and then they sent me to Jessup, and you know, it's like it was yesterday. You never forget that. You know, when you get there. So after I get sentenced to 12 years and 7 months, 151 months. That's how the federal government gives you your time. They give it to you in months. And when I get there, I get to Jessup, and you know, you see the razor wire and you see the fence, and you know, it's like 2 fences and a razor wire, you know. And you get there and they say, welcome to your new home for the next few years. That's what they tell everybody, because there's several of us that's going to Jessup. And, it was just fucked up. But, at the end of the day, you learn how to do the time. At least I did. And it wasn't as bad as I thought. And you get in there, and I made a conscious decision. I read a lot of books. I educated myself in there. And you make a conscious decision that you're going to either don't let the time do you, and you're going to do the time, and that's what I did. So when I got in there, I read a lot of things. I got very spiritual. I got back to my roots. I'm steadily reading the Bible. I'm praying. A lot of people probably are, hoping that something will change or somehow you can get out. But in me, I wanted to fight my case legally, and that's what I committed to. So I committed to, as soon as I got in my first institution, it actually started when I was in Kentucky in county jail. But when I got there, there's a law library, and I started educating myself and trying to figure out how the fuck am I going to get myself out, because I don't want to do all this time. And so that's what I committed my time to. And another thing that I started doing is learning how to exercise and learning how to eat, because I was out of shape. I was 216 pounds. I didn't know the difference between a carb and a carbohydrate. And when I got there, I saw people walk it off. I seen people walk off more than 100 pounds, 200 pounds. Literally, when I say walk it off, they just fucking walked the track all day, every day, and they walked it off. So that was one of the things I did, but I also did a lot of sprint work. I started learning how to lift weights. I had people in there that I, became good friends with, and, they became personal trainers, or they was personal trainers in there. And I got into some of the best shape of my life. It started when I was at Jessup, but I ended up at another institution, and that's when it took a whole new level.
At 49, have you ever seen an inmate stab another inmate? If not, watch this story.
All right, so when I first got to prison, right, the first stabbing I seen was in DVI. It was the homie from Woodland, Bomber, and Pee-wee from Gridley. I remember I was at Yard chilling, and the homie from Live Oak, man, he was going by Pistoletto, but I knew him as something else on the street, Rafa. He came over and hollered at me, and he's like, hey, come here real quick. He's like, hey, let's push around the yard. He's like, you see the old man in the wheelchair? He's like, bro, they're about to smack this fool right now. He's like, come on, let's walk behind him. So he already knew it was going down, so he's like, here, let's go. So we start pushing, like we're following the old man in the wheelchair, and the homies are pushing him around the yard, telling everybody that he's fully cleared. It's an old man. He was from Lindsay. Not Linda, he was from Lindsay. He had one leg. And I remember we're following him, and next thing you know, you just see Pee-wee stab him in the throat. Pee-wee stabs the dude in the throat. They have big metal bangers. Pee-wee takes off running. I don't know why. Pee-wee just stabbed him once in the throat and then takes off running. And right when he took off running, Bomber just starts blasting old boy. Old boy jumps out of the wheelchair, and Bomber and him are just like hugged around each other like wrestling. But that fool's fighting for his life, and Bomber's just blasting him. And Bomber stabbed him probably like 30 times before the cops came and like stood around him. Like the cops had made a circle around these fools, and this fool's still stabbing him. And I'm thinking like, no way, the cops are not gonna spray him or nothing. Like that fool stabbed him at least 20 more times after the cops got there. And I was like, damn, no way. And that fool was a white homie with blonde hair. His whole entire head was completely drenched with the other dude's blood. Like his whole side of his face was red, like almost like a Braveheart, you know how they have the blue face, but except for it was a red face, and he's a white dude. To me, I remember I was like, bro, he looked like Michael Myers when Michael Myers kills his family and waits on the porch. That's how that shit looked. That was the first removal I ever saw. And according to Pee-wee, while they were in the cages, fucking that fool they always say they flatline 3 times or 10 times or some crazy amount of times. I'm sure they probably do almost die, you know what I'm saying, from losing all that blood and getting stabbed that many times. But anyways, Pee-wee, that was the homie, that was my cellie, bro. That was my cellie in Mule Creek. The first removal I seen on the main line, that ended up being my cellie on the S&Y yard, the story I did earlier. And then man, that's crazy, because
at 50, when a sissy grapes a lady guard, well, take a look at this.
And then they had this gay boy named Nene. White, he was a white citizen. Everybody said they wanted him because he had a butt like Serena Williams. You know, Serena, the tennis player. He was built like her, but he was a little white. He was a white boy. That all sad, you know, height and everything. But he was gay. So, but Nene will fight. But one day we on the yard, and them girls was running out in the bathroom. What happened? So this lady got raped up a guard. The lady he raped, she was like man, she had a great big old butt, man. I'm talking about her legs was thick, but she had a little smart attitude, right? Couldn't nobody really get around her, you know. And Nene told the lady that he wanted to clean his cell. So She brought a mop bucket by his door and opened his gate. And he didn't do nothing then. The lady girl came back. Said, "Are you finished?" He grabbed her, threw her on the floor, tore all the shit off of her and tore her up, man. I mean, boy. Hey, we seen her come out wearing an orange jumpsuit, you know, cause he tore her clothes, so they put in an orange jumpsuit, something to wear. But boy, they brought him out. They stomped him, beat him. All the guards said they gonna kill him. All them, you know, the mean guards, kill him, all that. So they was wondering what they gonna do with him. We gonna send him to another prison and all this, right?
At 51, how often inmates get great behind bars? Watch this.
So I get this question asked a lot. How often did I witness rape in prison? And as somebody who has a family member that was raped before, I take this very serious. It doesn't matter if it's in the inside or outside, it's always a crime. Florida started something called PREA. Now, that stands for the Prison Rape Elimination Act. What that means is they'll put you in the cell with somebody like your height and your weight, so you have a fighting chance in case this happens. That's how rampant it is. Now, I don't know if you guys remember the story I told you about an inmate I did time with named Ricky Martin. Well, he was a confused young dude who gave the guards attitude. They ended up putting him in the cell with a notorious rapist, booty bandit, whatever you want to call it. Just a violent guy who's bigger, stronger, and the guy raped Ricky Martin and beat him to death. And it was like 3 or 4 months before the young guy went home. It's unbelievable, and it's just so hard to watch and bear. You just hear it and see it. It happens rampant in prison. And it might be a friendly way where they're getting so high with the guy, almost like how they drug people at nightclubs and bars. Like, always be careful, always watch your drinks. They do the same shit in prison. You know, they'll have a guy smoking tobacco and they drug it and they get him so fucked up that they end up taking, you know, they rape him. Or say a guy gets into debt for gambling and he can't pay the money back, say drugs or gambling, whatever debt it is. Dude walks in his cell with a knife and says, "Hey, you're gonna pay this debt 2 different ways." Either shows him the knife or the other way, which is rape. It's disgusting. Another way, and this is like the predator versus prey. They'll go straight up to a weaker inmate and pull a knife on them or slap them around. Usually a guy that's smaller, usually a guy that doesn't have any friends or rolls with anybody, and just straight take it from him. And next thing you know, the guy's turned out, going around the compound, you know, talking like a female, wearing his prison blues like a female. It's a sad thing to see. They call that getting turned out. And it forces people like myself to go, you literally have to go insane to remain sane, because you're hearing this, you're seeing this, and you literally just have to keep it moving. Because in prison, if you get in anybody else's business, they'll cut your throat, but they are not respected. And I've seen it to where, like for instance, the situation with Spawn. Spawn got put in a situation where a guy put a finger in his ass, and Spawn came back and stabbed the guy and damn near killed him. Spawn got almost 30 years for that whole event. You're damned if you do and damned if you don't. Stay out, stay free. Us.
At 52, what's the reason some inmates give all their money to OGs? Well, here's why.
All the money you get, what do you do with it?
Here's to you.
Don't say that. You on camera. Don't say that like that. How much money do you get a month?
I don't really tally it up.
How much do you think you get a month?
At least over $1,000.
And where does it go? Oh, this is crazy.
I knew exactly the kind of inmate this guy was as soon as I saw his scruffy hair, his raggedy jumpsuit, and his big mug of coffee. And he's being interviewed here by the plug, I'm guessing. And they ask him, where does all your money go to? That $1,000, give or take, that you get every month. And he says, well, all goes to you. And just remember, every time these guys call home and tell you, oh, I need a little money, I need 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks, $100, I need soap, I need food, I'm so hungry, oh, I need some new underwear. They're taking it and bringing it right to this guy. for deuce.
At 53, sometimes you have to fight for your rights in prison, specifically for the phone call back home.
Yo, this is a story from the first time I was in Virginia DOC. I'm in receiving at the time. I'm at Notorious receiving. This is my first experience of prison, you know what I'm saying? I've been in the jail for a while. I ain't never been to prison. It's 5 phones in here. Blood's got 2 phones. Crips got a phone. Richmond got a phone. So there's 1 phone left. The folder was left. This so happened to be in front of me and my homeboy's cell. You know, as soon as the doors come out, we going straight to that phone. Like, that's pretty much our phone, you know what I'm saying? Me, him, like all our homeboys is using that phone. This is just our group of friends' phone. This is our shit. Like, anybody can use it or whatever, but we already got a line set up for when the doors crack. And when the doors crack, I'm always the first one to get on the phone because my cell's right there. Boom, when we lock down, I go hang the phone. So when we come out, the phone's hanging so people know not to go touch the phone. The door opens, I come out, I go to get on the phone. It's somebody already on the phone. I'm like, what the fuck? So I pull up. I came off respectful. I'm like, yo, you good? Goddamn. I was supposed to be on the phone and shit, but like next time you see the phone hanging, ask where the line is and shit like that, cause goddamn, there's already a line set up. You know what I'm saying? I'll be cordial with him. I told him. I don't know if he just kind of felt some type of way, cause I'm a white boy or whatever. I don't know what the fuck, but he kind of just like shrugged me off. I'm like, why? It's about to be some problems. I go get my whole boy. He a white boy as shit. I think he was GD or whatever. None of that didn't matter though. The fact is, this is our phone. We go over back to the phone where dude at. We walk up, I tap on his shoulder, he turn around, he like, what's up? I'm like, yo bro, like that's our phone. Like you need to respect the phone line type shit. And he basically tried to drag his nuts, like who gonna do what? So I look at bro, I'm saying this is his first time in prison too. I look at all our homeboys, like this is our phone. You can't just let somebody come and jump on your phone line like that. So I look at my homeboy and he looking at me like shit, I'm with you. At this time, dude he hang the phone down, he look at us like, what? And I just punched him in his face. And me and my homeboy got to jumping him right there in the corner of the pod and shit. Our other homeboy came over there jumping with us and shit. He get up, he get to screaming out, y'all gonna let these white boys jump? For one, the third person that was jumping with us was black. See, that's the type of shit that would never go on in like a Catholic prison. That's what's going on in VA. So yeah, he wanted to talk about something. Oh, y'all gonna let them jump a black man? At this point, like the whole pod's watching this. Any pod you go in Virginia, it's mainly gonna be a lot of bloods on that shit. So the bloods got the numbers in there. And most of these bloods is from my area. We came from the same jail. He get to talking about some, oh, y'all gonna let them jump a black man? I remember somebody yelled out, man, he from Tidewater. We don't give a fuck. We don't know you. So goddamn, yeah, that happened and shit. We get up and shit. He wanna try to, yeah, but y'all won't shoot the ones with me? You right. This wasn't about shooting the ones. This wasn't about none of that. This was about you disrespecting our phone line. You didn't come at any of us individually. You came at our whole phone line. So that's how we dealt with it. That's kind of how the phone politics go in Virginia DOC. Yeah, man, keep fucking with me and shit. I tap in for more story time, man. I got many more of these shit, man. Plenty more of these shit.
At 54, here's how Fleece Johnson gets his debt back from inmates.
I used to hold him while I used to grab him by his dreadlocks like that and just grip it like that while I'm pumping him. I said, how you gonna pay me? He said, you knew you was gonna get this, didn't you? I said, get what? I said, get what? Boy, I love that. He was ready to give you the ass for 30. I used to play with his dreadlocks. I used to hold him while I used to grab him by his dreadlocks like that and just grip it like that while I'm pumping him. And he loved it like that. He was a street nigga. He was a gangster. Yeah, he was a sad street was powerful. But he had power in his ass, man. That thunder. That thunder, man. I mean, so did anybody know he was getting fucked by you? Man, yeah. I see, one thing I do when I come out of town, I say, look, I ain't with all this. Act like, you know, we ain't doing nothing, none of that shit. I said, look, man, you gonna have to just, everybody know anyway.
At 55, she freaked out behind bars. The charge? Fucking. Overlooking traffic charges.
Hi. Let's talk about my mugshot. So apparently my mom is like sending this to a bunch of people as if it's like ammo against me or something. I don't know if she knows that I had this framed at my 30th birthday party, so like not a huge secret, not something I'm really keeping secret. Now, this story of my mugshot is actually one of my favorite stories. Tyler, I would think Tyler's favorite story about like us in our early years is how we met, but my mugshot is my favorite story of the first like 2 weeks of our relationship, and I think it's super cute, so let's dive in. The year was 2018, okay? I was preparing to move from Alabama to Florida, and I needed a car. I didn't have a car. I was broke as a joke, okay? I barely had a dime to my name. But I was working at this Porsche Audi dealership in Alabama, just kind of like as a leeway in between like college and, you know, my adult life. And I had this coworker who drove this bad boy. This is a 2004 Jeep Grand Cherokee. This Jeep, we called it Jeepers Creepers, okay, because it had no power steering. It had no air conditioning. Mind you, I was moving to Florida in August, okay? I did not care. I'm resilient, I'm scrappy. I was like, 4 wheels and, you know, no busted out windows, sign me up. So I go to my coworker, I said, coworker, I really need to buy your car. He was thinking about getting an Audi anyways. Please let me pay you for this car. Now, mind you, at this point in my life, actually at no point in my life, I have never been reliant on someone else for bills, rent, and I can proudly say that I've never once sold my body, been a sex worker, no OnlyFans. I have earned every dime earnestly and honestly, which is more than I think Barry could say. Anyways, so I paid my coworker in payments, 4 equal payments, because I was that broke. I could not afford the like $4,000 or $2,000 or whatever I paid for this stupid Jeep. It's not a stupid Jeep. It got me to Florida, okay? So in Florida, or I'm sorry, in Alabama, there is the rule regarding your car registration, and it has to be renewed 1 year past when you register your vehicle. Okay, so I registered. I paid up. The car's in my name. I have the title. I can register the car. I'm good for 1 full calendar year to register this vehicle. Right? Wrong. And I'm broke, right? And I can barely afford to like feed myself and house myself, much less gas and insurance. Whatever. So I'm like, I have 1 full year to make another, like a couple $100 it is. I moved to Florida in August, and in Florida, the car registration laws renew on your birthday, not when you register the car. So I registered it in August. I moved to Florida in August. December, when my birthday rolls around, 4 months later, boom, registration has expired. And of course, I'm like young and naive, and I'm just trying to like eat, right? So I don't know what like the car registration laws are, okay? I was young and I had no one to rely on for this either. I had no mom to ask anything. No, I was not on speaking terms with either of my parents. I had no one. I had me and my spite that kept me warm at night, okay? And the no air conditioning kept me really warm too. So when my birthday rolled around and my car registration magically, poof, it's expired, it told my car insurance that, hey, this is not a registered vehicle anymore. And I got dropped on my insurance. And all of this was kind of just like happening, and I had no idea, right? I was just trying to like go to work and then go to my second job. And at this point I don't think at this point, but I was also a professional cheerleader. So just trying to get to the arena for games. And then I got a speeding ticket. I don't want to hear it, okay? We've all gotten a speeding ticket. So when the license and registration, please, I had no registration and no insurance. So I got 3 tickets that day. I got a speeding ticket, I got driving without registration, and driving without insurance. And the cop, like I was trying to explain to the cop, you know, like what was going on, whatever. A few days or whatever, a week after that, I get a letter in my mail saying that my court date was at this time on this day, right? I had just started a really great job that I loved at a design firm here in St. Pete. We had just taken on a really great client who was designing a penthouse on Harbor Island, and I really wanted to, like, I was going to be a part of it. I was an assistant on the construction design team, and I was not going to miss this, right? Our first design meeting for this penthouse client, I'll show you guys pictures too, maybe in the second part. The first design meeting for this penthouse client was the same day and time as my court date. So I had a decision to make. I thought to myself, I can either go to court and pay like what, a few $100 to get these things cleared up. That's all I had to do was go to court, right? And miss this meeting. And I'm like, I'm not missing this meeting. My career is going to take me decades down the line, right? I couldn't give a shit if someone thought I was a criminal because I was too broke to afford my car registration. Okay, I just couldn't care less. And I lived with that decision. So the morning of my court date showed up, and I didn't. And I went to work, and I had a great design meeting, and that was that. And I knew what was going to come next. And if you guessed a warrant for my arrest, you would be right. A few days later, I get a warrant in the mail saying that I have a warrant out for my arrest. And I'm like, okay, the plan is going to be, let's put the plan in place. Here we go. And here was my plan. I knew, and I think this was like Monday or Tuesday. The following week on Friday, I knew I got paid. My paycheck was the exact amount as my bail, $1,200. I got paid $600 every 2 weeks, right? I was an assistant. I said, okay, I'm probably not going to eat that week. I, might be behind on my rent or whatever, but I need to bail myself out of jail. I have a warrant out for my arrest. So also during this time, I met my now husband. I met Tyler. Let me get this off because this is not fun. Better. Isn't she cute? She was sobbing. Okay? I met Tyler on August 2nd, okay? And I knew that like a few days after we met was the warrant for my arrest, right? So I go up to this man that I barely know. I said, look, this is my situation. There's a warrant out for my arrest right now. I need you to bail me out. And he was like, okay, like, yes, of course. Cause he's an angel. Okay. So of course he said yes. And like, it wasn't, I just need you to bail me out. Here's the money. Here's everything. This is my plan, right? I need you to drive me to work on Friday morning. I need to complete a full day's work because I couldn't miss any work because I was broke. I need you to pick me up from work at 5 o'clock, okay? I need you to take me to the ATM so that I can clear out my bank account. Every dime to my name, all $1,200 got cashed out. I'm sitting in his passenger seat. I hand him my $1,200. I'm taking my earrings out. I'm taking my watch off. I'm handing him my license. I've known this man for 13 days. Okay? He's my husband now. So like something had to go right? I show up to the courthouse and they book me in at 5:07. My mugshot was at 5:07, right? I think I got out of work at like 4 because obviously I had shit to handle. So they let me go. So 5:07 rolls around and your girl's in jail, okay? Let me back up a little bit. I show up to the courthouse, right? And I'm beside myself. I'm so scared. I'm like, I'm gonna get beat up in jail. I'm this blonde white, I'm like terrified, right? And like, I can fight because like I had Barry as a mom, but like, I don't want to. So I walk into that courthouse and I open the door and the waterworks just come out. I'm losing it. I walk up to the front desk and these cops are like, are you good? Like, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, I need to check arrested. And they're like, and Tyler's like, you need to arrest her. She has a warrant out for her arrest and she's turning herself in. And the cops were like, okay, put your arms behind your back. And I'm like, it was so bad. I was so embarrassed, but like, I was scared. Okay. So they take me to this back, I remember they take me to this back room and they take my handcuffs off and they were like, you need to sit in this chair and calm down. Like you're in here for like, I mean, it was a missed court date, but like a traffic violation. Like you need to chill out. You're going to be fine. Like you're fine. And so I like catch my breath. They put me back in handcuffs and they walk me over to this van to drive me over to the jailhouse. This is going to have to be a part 2 because things are about to start getting interesting. And this is where it kind of involves Tyler. And yeah, so part 2 coming.
At 56, watch this female inmate tell a sad story.
So you said you went to prison. Like, what's a crazy prison story?
Crazy prison story. So there's this old lady named Miss Sandy, like really religious, like, I mean, all for God type. So this lady had, if I'm not mistaken, she probably had already been down for about 20 some years. Real sweet old lady. So whenever I had hit the yard, I was going on 19. So like literally I was the youngest on the whole compound. And she was the first person to, walk up to me and she was just telling me like, hey, what's your name? And I'm like, well, my name's Egypt. She was like, I'm Miss Sandy. She was like, if you need anything, come to me. And I was like, okay. So, anywho, I go and I talk to her and we used to, talk every day. She was really uplifting or whatever. So she had got sentenced to life in the feds for, I think it was like trafficking heroin or some weird shit like that. I don't know, some meth, heroin, some drugs. I mean, she was moving some shit. And pretty much the government took down her whole little old stint, whatever, her whole family. So she's fighting for, what they call clemency, which is pretty much just like getting out on like either good behavior or getting a sentence reduction. It really could be anything. So whenever that had happened or whatever.
At 57, do you know what happened to trans inmates behind bars?
When I was in prison, I gave it up to damn near everybody, including officers. And there was one officer, I call him Officer R because he does pay a lot of my bills. He follows me on Spicy Pages and spends a lot of money each month. Thank you, Daddy. But let's talk about him. He is Latino, dark hair. He's very buff, obviously. He's a CO. He's hot. He's hot. When I was in prison, he would always fuck with me. He was the rec officer, so he worked in the rec shack and people would like go sign out basketballs or whatever from that shack. But he was steady calling me in saying that he had to pat me down or just checking my pockets, and he would say like, oh, I know the boys that you run with, you're probably carrying this or that, blah, blah, blah. It was bullshit. He really just wanted to touch on me, and you should have just said that from the beginning. Anyway, one day he calls me in the shack and he says, I've been hearing people talking saying that you have a fake ass. And I said, yeah, I have a BBL. And he said, I need to check it and make sure it's not contraband. And I was like, it's in my body. What do you mean? And he said, I just need to check it. Drop your pants. And I was like, oh, I see what's going on here. I see what's happening. And so I dropped my pants. And he was like, oh my God, that's amazing. You might not know this about me, but I've been fucking around with Q, who was another male CO. They were fucking around with each other. Crazy. But I would like to fuck around with you and I will pay you for your time. And I said, okay, here is a CA. You can send the funds there. I'll verify it. And once it's verified tomorrow, I'll meet you in the shack. You can call me on like you always do. People will just think you're harassing me and we can get it popping. And that's what we did. And he wrecked me. He wrecked me. He beat this shit up. And this went on for years. And everybody knew about this. All of the inmates knew that I was having this relationship with R, but I also was getting so much shit from him as a benefit of this that it was just like taking care of the whole dorm, the whole compound essentially. It was making shit move for them and it gave me a lot of pull. So then I get out and I blow up on Spicy Pages. And one day I see a name that looks familiar, so I click on it and I see a picture and it's him. And I was like, hey, how are you? And he said, good. I can't believe I found you on here. I'm so glad that I can enjoy your content. He's been enjoying my content ever since. He is one of my best customers. I don't know if he follows me on here. I'm assuming probably. Yeah, and he still cashes me out through my Spicy Pages. That's some crazy shit. That's some crazy shit. But he was good. He was good. And Q, the guy that he was fucking with, the other CO, I was so shocked. I was so shocked. It was the most shocking thing. But I did always see them together. I just thought they were posted together. And I think that's how it started. But then, like, they were banging each other in the guard shack, too. Isn't that so crazy? Prison is crazy as fuck, guys. I'm telling you, prison is crazy. Crazy. I love you, besties.
At 58, she was harassed by prison officers. Here's a story.
All right, so this is part 5 of my journey in my recovery and what it was like going to prison here in Florida. Y'all are killing me with these comments. I am fully aware that it is not the Ritz. I have never once implied that I think we should get special treatment, or I don't even know. But what I am going to say, and this is where this video will include this information, is we should be treated like human beings. Granted, yes, there are people in there with horrendous crimes, and I am not going to touch on that and how they should be treated. But what I will say is, for the rest of us who have crimes, you know, we did the crime, we're going to do the time, I get that. But the type of environment that us women had to be exposed to and the types of things that we had to endure is where I'm going with this and what this will explain in my video. So please keep that in mind. The other thing that I also want to say is, you know, I saw a comment that said deserved. Okay, well, again, yes, you screw up, you break the law, you go to jail, you go to prison. I get that. I agree with that. However, there are also things that some of us, like myself, had to endure that was not deserved while I was in prison, which I will touch on that as well. So anyways, so I'm just going to jump right in. Also, if you have a question, I will absolutely answer it, but there's a lot to this, which is why there's so many parts. So you might be a little bit better off going back to those videos. I will do the best I can to answer your question, of course, but there's just a lot, so I may not be able to answer as deeply as I would like to. Alright, so I already explained my first day in prison and how much that just was beyond traumatizing. So I was stuck at Lowell Correctional Institution for approximately 2 months. The standard process is you go there, you're there for about 2 to 3 weeks, and then you get shipped off to whatever prison they've decided that you're going to go to. I somehow fell through the cracks and ended up in this prison for, like I said, about 2 months. It took my family calling the warden to go look, why is she still here? What the heck is going on? So I'm going to try to put this in a way so that it makes sense. I'm a little scattered because it's a lot. The first thing is that it is dirty. And when I say dirty, I mean effing dirty. And I knew that obviously prison wasn't going to be clean, like at least super clean. And the reason why I know this, like, I was transferred to another prison, which I'll get into later, but that prison was clean. And so Lowell is nasty. They give you like no cleaning supplies. I mean, if they do, they're like so watered down that it's doing nothing to clean the bathroom, and they're giving you no gloves to clean the bathroom. And then you have these grown women who clearly have some psychological issues, and they are shitting in a sock and then leaving that sock in the stall of where the shower is. And so that gives you just a baseline of just how just nasty it was. The worst part was the chow hall. There's no AC, and also in the prison, in the dorm, there's no AC. They have like these fans, but that's about it. But you would go to the chow hall, and there's no running air at all. There's fans, and I was there in the middle of July and August, and there are flies freaking everywhere. I mean, to the point that you're eating and you're doing this as you're eating, because there's freaking flies that are landing on your food, landing on you. And this kind of goes back to my comment of, I know that it's not the Ritz. However, this is unsanitary, and we are still human. So the dirtiness was just something that was really hard for me to wrap my head around. The officers, and this is where it gets hard. Not all of the officers were like this, but you had those select few who were either just total jerks, clearly hated their lives, you know, didn't want to be there, and so they took out their anger on you. But then you had those officers who wanted to take advantage of you and the situation that you are in. And this kind of goes back to that comment of, you know, deserved is what it said. Well, I didn't deserve to encounter SA. And to anyone who's going to ask, no, I did not do anything about it as far as bringing it to anyone's attention, because who am I, right? Like, I'm just an inmate. Like, who am I? And so, that encounter was traumatizing. And, you know, it just makes you wonder, like, how many other women at this prison had to go through what I went through. And this is something that I won't get into details, so please don't ask me what happened, because I will not disclose that. I won't. But so now to kind of continue on, so since I fell through the cracks, and as I mentioned in one of my other videos, I was in what's called R&O dorm. I was in the R letter dorm, and because I had been there for so long, they ended up transferring me to what they called Mike dorm. And this is where it was absolutely terrifying. You were in there with people who had 40 plus years. They didn't have life, but they had a significant amount of time. They were in there for all sorts of different things. And, you know, I'm 4'11". I'm not very big. I will stand my own, don't get me wrong. And I will defend myself, but I wasn't trying to lose my good or gain time. I was just trying to do my time and come home. And so Mike dorm sucked. You had one phone with like 40 or 50 other women in the pod. Pod dorm, same thing. And the TV didn't work. And, you know, obviously you made the best of it because that's all you could do. But the one thing that really sucked too was the fact that you couldn't use the phone to call your family until the phone list was approved, and that took a crazy amount of time. So you felt very alone. It was an emotional roller coaster, to say the least. So when I was in Mike dorm, of course there were fights that broke out. I think the biggest thing that I saw was there was an officer who went to slam the cell door, and the inmate had their hand against like the frame of the door, and it legit cut the finger off. And the paramedics came, and obviously they rushed her off to the hospital, and that officer was no longer at the prison after that. But that's just, again, another example of just the way that these officers treated us inmates. But I feel like there's a few people who have questioned the validity of my story, so I am going to post a picture in a second of me holding my son before I was actually transferred to Gadsden Correctional Institution, which is up in Tallahassee, and my next video will encompass what that was like. But let me post this video before I run out of time. I'm sorry, picture. Alright, so as y'all can see, that is my son and I. He had just turned 2. So follow me for the next video. Love you all. Have a blessed day.
At 59, this prison CEO tells a crazy story. Watch this.
There's a trend going around right now of parents explaining why they don't allow their kids to have sleepovers. Wanted to give you a different perspective because I haven't seen it yet. I talk about it all the time on my page. Some of you might know, some of you might not know, but I worked in a men's prison, a level 5 men's prison, for a little while. And my captain didn't really like me being around inmates. He didn't want any female around inmates, but, and these are his words, not mine, don't come at me, but especially not a young, attractive one. So he would try his hardest to keep me away from them, put me on post, you know, whatever he could think of. Well, they're, you know, Florida Department of Correction, so we're always short-staffed. So there was one night that he was like, hey, I'm going to go put you in C dorm. You need anything, you give us a call. I'm like, cool. What dorm is C dorm? And they're like, oh, it's the Chomo dorm. Chomo is the child molester dorm. They do have to have their own special dorm, because if not, they will all be killed, which What a shame that would be. But anyways, and I remember I went in there my first night. I didn't know what to expect, because like, what do you expect when you're about to go work with a bunch of kitty diddlers? And definitely not what I expected, though. And I say that because they were all so nice.
At 60, Fleece Johnson on Inmate getting forced to do you know what?
Do I get your booty? Or do I gotta break your neck? Booty, man. And then choke him again. And then, you know what he tell him? Then he starts take one hand and start digging in his butt, letting the dude know what he want. And then he said, which one? Do I get to break your neck? I get your booty. You make the choice. And choke him a little, dude be like, do I get your booty? Or do I gotta break your neck? Booty, man. He'll say, poke it out. He's still choking him. He said, poke it out. He poke it out. He's not put me up in you. He already got grease on his stuff. He got it in him. He said, I want you to move your butt up and on this. He got it. And then he let him up, kiss him in the mouth, set it down, talk to him, and tell him, you my woman. I'm gonna love you. I ain't gonna let nobody mess with you. Ain't nobody gonna know you my woman except you. And they keep that a secret.
At 61, gay inmates go crazy behind closed cells.
So if you want to be frank or technical, baby, the gay boys were the ones that were eating. They were the ones that had all the motion, really. This is for real. As far as with the men, baby, being able to maneuver and sneak and, you know what I'm saying? Girl, if somebody walk in a unit with me, which is a dorm, if somebody walk in there with me, girl, all eyes gonna be on them. Baby, you can sneak and you can maneuver a lot better when you don't look like me, baby. Believe that. Because guess what? I used to be that. So I know. I went to state prison, bitch. I ain't have none of this shit. Bitch, none of this shit. And guess what? I stayed eating. Bitch, yeah. They was going. The boys was going. Yeah, so your homeboy, he be with his homeboy all the time, and there's some questionable shit going on. Girl, ain't no telling what's going on. Because the gay boys, they be eating, baby. For real. When I was in prison, baby, they ate. The boys was on their line. Because guess what? You ain't never gonna think it. You ain't gonna never question that shit. When you see a bitch with me, you question it out for real. Fuck he doing with her? Bitch, you see it with one of them, you ain't gonna be thinking nothing, girl. You walk up on that shit, they end up getting it down, bitch. All the way motherfucking down.
At 62, big ass OG showed this young bit who the real nigga is.
It was something about him being 76. I was saying that in jail, before you call him, I said, bro, I swear to God, it be niggas his age that's really still like that. It's still active. I swear to God, like one of the only fights that I lost in jail came from an old nigga, bro. I think I'm finna beat the dog shit.
I've seen that a lot of times.
Bro, I swear
really?
Bro, I swear to God, bro, like
know what to do.
How old was he when you talking about old?
Probably like 62. Like 63, like some shit like that. Yeah, but he always mind his business though. He always mind. I swear to God, he always mind his business, bro. Like he was just watching TV. Whoop, 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 whoop. So I'm in there. I already won. Like my nephews right here, they heard when people call me like that just got out of the same jail I was in. So they heard like when I fight, they be calling what they call me in there. They call me a psych patient when I fight because I go extra crazy. Like I be tripping. So. Boom, my head filled up. At this time, I done already beat up like 10 people. I'm tripping now like I'm Kenny B or what? So boom, the old nigga in there or whatever. So bam, 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 bam. I forget we get into it. I think he told us to shut up or some shit like that. Bam, so I'm like, man, it ain't none of that going on. Niggas grown than a bitch. Like, I forgot the argument or whatever. So the next morning, I get up. He watching the TV and shit. Boom, I'm like, bro, because I really asked my partner for his shoes and shit. He give me the shoes. I forgot what happened. I don't know if a nigga bitch was... I was just on that morning. So I tell the old nigga, I'm like, hey, I ain't gonna lie, you gotta get that, bro. I don't like how you was talking and woo. He like, youngster, go on about your business. That's what he tell me. He didn't even look at me. I swear to God, he didn't even look at me. I should have went on about my business on God. He said, youngster, go on about your business. I say, man, on God, come on, get up, bro. And say, I ain't trying to hurt none of that. Ooh. He just quiet. He ain't look at me or nothing. I swear to God, bro, on God, me being mad, my attitude done took off on him, bro. Boop, boop, boop. But it's like, while I'm taking off on him, he raising up. Like, it's not affecting him or nothing. He raising up on God. Like, I ain't even see, like, his, this move, his arms. Like, he just catch me. Boom, on my dead brother. Hold on, come on the set. So I'm trying to get in the blend with him, but he hit so hard. Like, bro, hit so hard. It's just like I was just telling him the story the other day. It's like when he's swinging them hoes, it's like, it don't hurt. It's just every spot that he hitting getting numb. Like, I'm like, hell nah. Like, bro, so, and then after the fight, it was just like, he just went on back to watching TV, stirring his coffee. I'm like, bro, on blood, then I'm getting mad because the young niggas in there, they like, I'm steady trying to fight, because even after, I'm like, hell no, we gotta run that again. My partner seeing what's going on, so they like, nah, bitch, just chill. I'm God finna whoop you. I'm gonna get out of my face, but like, come on, like, let's do it one more time. He like, youngster gone on, he's stirring his coffee. I'm God just go sit on my bunk, fool. Like, I'm like, bro, this nigga just whooped me in this whole, like, I ain't lost now fight. Like, I let an old nigga whoop me, bro. Like, but some niggas like that be knowing shit, like, they been around. Yeah, I'm young. I'm a young nigga at this time, like 24. He probably in his 60s. Like, bro, hit so hard though. I swear to God, but a lot of shit in there, like the first.
At 63, what happens when you catch an inmate tearing other inmate? You know what?
I seen the guard bag his butt up to the inmate cell. The inmate was tearing his butt up on the back catwalk. We got our mirror looking. Look. Then I hear the guard. Jerome, is you hitting that guard? He down there talking about, hell yeah! I said, damn, man, I didn't know you was hanging like that. He said, man, shit, you know I ain't never getting out. John was saying, hey, send him over here next.
Oh, shit.
And the guard was slide right on over to John. I was like, and this guard, ain't somebody gonna bust him doing that? Said, don't nobody walk back here on this back catwalk. They walk on the front walk.
Yeah.
Back here, you go back there, and you be looking in the cell, checking to make sure ain't nobody making spud juice or doing anything illegal, even though we did everything illegal in there. Hell, I was selling drugs, I was selling knives, I was selling food.
At 64, if you have a weak spirit, feel free to skip this story.
Alright, so if you're easily triggered, do not watch this video because it will negatively impact you if you have a weak spirit. This is for the strong because I want to do this video for educational purposes about a horrific story that happened behind prison walls with a young man and how it changed his life forever. So this young man name was Michael, and he was only 19 or 20 years of age. So he was taken under the wing of an older guy named Jackson. And Jackson, you know, he was an OG in the prison. He had a little clout or whatever. So apparently, you know, he took Michael, the young man, under his wing, and Michael had borrowed some party favors from some of the other men in the prison or whatever. I believe that's what happened, but he had accrued a debt. Him and Jackson, the OG. So Jackson tells this young man, he convinces him that in order to pay this debt off, you know, so they don't come after us and I can protect you and my boys can protect you, you know, you got to do a little something that you might not be proud of. You know, they're going to want to come after you. So you're going to have to give them your body. Now, obviously, Michael, as a 19, 20-year-old young male, he's horrified. He don't want to do this. And he's like, there's no other way around it. Or, you know, he's coming, you know, he's asking, you know, Jackson, why do I have to do this? And he's like, well, you got to do it. You the young one and they gonna want you or whatever. So Jackson tells this young man, however, because I care about you and, I'm taking you up under my wing, I can prepare you for it. I will do this act with you. We can practice. That way you're already, conditioned to do this when, the men come after you or whatever, right? So although reluctant, Michael felt like he was backed in a corner and he didn't have a choice. So, slowly he started to do these unthinkable acts with this OG in the prison, yet took him up under his wing, Jackson. And here's where it gets really strange. So they're doing this, and this went on for weeks because, again, he's preparing him for these men that's eventually going to want their peace, want their payback for these debts that they owed. After the deed was done and they carried this thing on for weeks, Michael is on the phone with his mom, and, you know, he was telling his mom how Jackson was protecting him and looking out for him and making sure nobody hurt him. And what his mom told him next would change his entire life, and this man would have a nervous breakdown. Follow me for part 2.
At 65, watch Fleece Johnson boasting about his size. Everything crazy.
He said he used the bathroom and found the imprint of my dickhead in his turd. You nigga, I'm going deep to the guts.
You nigga, I'm going deep to the guts.
You know, he knew I had a lot of money. He knew I was running stores and poker games, so I had it going on. So, you know, if you're going to go for somebody that got the bread, you know.
Gold digger.
Yeah, I don't come with me. I'm a gold digger too. My goal is the booty. You know, you can dig for money, I'm digging for booty, right? I'm going deep. That was the guy that told me, I went deep in him, and he told me, he said, hey, the first time I had a problem, because he didn't get a chance to use the bathroom, he said, I got to use. I said, look, come on now. Don't start holding me up on this bathroom stuff. I said, I got it up in him. And when I pulled it out, you know, I had a little dookie on me, and it wasn't nothing. But he told me when he came out to see me that night, he said, hey. I said, what? He said, I think you went too deep, honey. I said, what you mean too deep? He said he used the bathroom and found the imprint of my dickhead in his turd. The imprint of it left an imprint of my thing in his turd. I said, look, I don't even want to hear all that stuff. But he said, yeah, you went deep. You know, and so we decided to get married. I said, you want to get married? And he said, yeah. So we go see this guy. And he said, I can marry y'all this week.
At 66, a lesson from a lifer who luckily got parole.
Hey, I want to share something with you guys. My last day in prison, right? After doing 15 years straight. My last cellie, he was from Colton. I believe it was Northside Colton. His name was Turtle. And we had been cellies for over a year. And I never talked about me going home. And on the last day, he was like, man, you happy to go home? And mind you, he had life in prison. And I was like, I didn't want to talk to him about it because I already knew his circumstances. Like, bro, I'm walking out this door pretty soon and you're not. I don't want to rub it in, right? So I was trying to be like nonchalant about it. Like, nah, it's good. I don't know what to expect, but it's whatever. So I think he caught wind of it. So he didn't try to talk to me about it. Then they opened up my door. So I started grabbing my stuff and I gave him a hug. And I was like, all right, fool, you better get the bottom bunk before you get a new cellie. And he goes, nah, I keep it right there in case you come back. It'll be waiting for you. I'll stay on up top bunk. So I looked at him and I was like, and as I'm grabbing all my stuff, I'm telling him like, what do you mean by that, bro? I ain't coming back. He's like, nah, but there's always a possibility, because there's always a possibility that you're going to go out there and just be that same person that you are today. Because I paroled as a gang member. He's like, if you're going to go out there and make those poor decisions like we've been making, it'll be ready for you. There's always going to be a bunk waiting for you in case you want to go out there and be stupid. And since then, I think about it, man, like a lot. I remember that bunk. I remember how I decorated it with women's magazines, Smooth magazines, how I, waxed them on the walls. And sometimes, like, when times get hard out here, when I'm not content with life, or I feel like I'm being stagnated, or I feel like, the job's, it's been a rough week, it's been a rough month, or my life has been hard lately. There's a reminder every now and then that goes through my head about that bottom bunk. Like, he didn't take that bottom bunk because if I make poor decisions and stupid decisions, that bunk's going to be waiting for me. So I got that man to thank, man, and I hope he's doing good, and I hope he has all the blessings that he can possibly receive in jail, doing life in prison. But that was the last thing anybody told me before I walked out of prison. And since then, I'm going on my 6th year this September of being home and not committing a crime and never going back. Just wanted to share that with you guys.
At 67, she was in prison with Ashley Young and Mackenzie Sharilla. Crazy.
For those of you who don't know, I did 3 years in prison when I was 18, and I was in there with some very crazy women. So this is part 16 of Notorious Women I was in prison with. So the first one is Ashley Young. I remember her because I feel like she's really tall. For some reason that sticks out. But when I saw her mugshot, I was like, oh, definitely I remember her. I'm pretty sure she lived in the Shirleys. Pretty fucking positive. But anyways, her name is Ashley Young. She got 20 to life for killing her stepdaughter, who was 4 years old. She goes to her first parole hearing in 2031. Like I said, she'll likely get flopped for her first one. But I read up on the crime. This happened in 2012, by the way, but the 4-year-old was beaten, strangled. Pieces of her skull were imprinted in the carpet. Like, it was truly horrible. And her being the stepmom, like, I cannot fucking imagine what the mother thinks. Like, holy shit. And the guilt that the dad probably has. I don't think he was charged in anything. I think it was strictly her. I listened to the court. You can listen to the victim impact statement online when you look her up. But yeah, disturbed. Okay, the next one I'm going to talk about, I actually was not in prison with. She is just currently in the prison I was at, but her story is notorious. I saw so many TikTok clips about this case, and that is Mackenzie Shirilla. Basically, if you don't know, she's young. She's like 18 or 19, and there's several things where she was like kind of like a crazy girlfriend. There's videos of her like cussing her boyfriend out and whatever. One day she was in the car with her boyfriend and his friend, and I do believe that she probably was trying to kill herself as well, but she ended up going like 200 miles an hour. They were in an argument. She was going like 100 miles an hour and wrecked into something. Her boyfriend and her boyfriend's friend both died, and she survived, and she got 15 to life. She got charged with murder, and her first parole board is in 2037. Like I said, the first one, they likely will get flopped. Her age does play a factor. She's very, very young. But there was a girl I was in prison with who caught her case at 16, and she got flopped twice at the parole board. So it really doesn't, you never know. But yeah, that was crazy when I found out that she's in ORW right now. I just looked her up. She looks like a baby. She looks so young, but her case was all over TikTok. Mackenzie Shirilla. Come back for part 16, 17? Don't know.
At 68, what if your cellie is a psych patient and 6'4" with 250 pounds of muscle?
Imagine being stuck in a room with somebody that just did a 17-year bid for unaliving someone. And instead of being released to the streets, they was released to the psych ward you work at because they were still deemed a danger to society. You already know where this going, because you know I was the one stuck with him. By the time I left that room, I knew new card games, new slang, and I had a whole rap song of him recorded on my phone. And trust me, this all makes sense. Just listen. So we get this new patient. He comes in looking like Debo. He about 6'3", 6'4", got to be about 270, and he got a belly, but this dude is jacked up, muscled up. You know he can still do them pull-ups and push-ups with the best of them. And his hands, man, it looked like he been catching bricks all his life, because they look like baseball mitts, strong, beefy hands. He came in mad, sedated, and agreeable. Whatever meds say he was under, he was still coming up off of those. So he was signing his papers. It was nighttime when he came in, and he wanted to go straight to his room. In the intake assessment, it did say, hey, boundaries with this patient is very big, because coming from prison, you're not allowed to go in people's rooms and touch people's stuff. And like, he was real big, apparently, on his stuff not being touched, his room not being gone in, stuff like that. But like I said, he came in late, he went straight to bed, he slept for a while, nobody was worried about him, but we was hip to what his chart said. Then one morning shift, while I'm doing rounds on the other side of the unit, I hear a smack heard around the world. This dude brings his beefy baseball mitt hands up to the nurse's station and slams down on that desk to get everyone's attention with the heaviness of God stomping. He smacks the desk, boom! Y'all better let me up out this mug right now. Immediately, my mind is going through the Rolodex of what patient this could be, what person is on this unit, and I peep my head around the corner, and I see Debo, we gonna call him Debo. I see Debo flexed up, mad, eyebrows furrowed all the way down, and he is like looking around to see how he can get out this unit. I'm gonna have to do multiple stories on him, but I promise you I'll fully get through this one. So immediately staff is concerned, nurses are coming out, hey, what's going on? He like, ain't no what's going on. I need to get up out of here. I shouldn't even be in here. I just got out. Y'all got me in another prison. And somebody keep opening my door. The nurses are like, hey, this is temporary. We have to find placement for you so we can work with you. Talk to the social worker today. How does that sound? And whoever's opening your door, that's just staff. We have to do rounds and check on everybody. That's just how we have to do things here. He goes, all right, in a calm demeanor, and just pimps off to his room and zoom, closes that door with force that I'm sure if you stood on the other side of it, you'd feel the wind. Staff looking at each other, they know it's gonna be a problem. They're trying to be proactive. This is usually the time, controversial time, but whatever, where they call the doctor, they like, yo, you need to drop the meds. You need to give us a certification to be able to give this dude a B-52 or some good Haldol, Prolixin, Ativan, whatever, to calm this dude down, make him go to sleep, because our safety is in jeopardy. So I go down to the room, his room, with the nurse for her safety. She knocks on the door, the baby is and then he opens the door looking all like, what's up? His room all organized, he got books stacked up, sheets folded. I'm like, yo, this dude is really institutionalized for show. Ain't nothing wrong with no neatness, I mean, that's good, but you could tell he was very particular about how things were set up. Nurse goes, hey, the doctor has some medicine for you. What is it? She tells him what it is and says he can have it in pill form or shot form. He says, is this gonna help me get up out of here? And she goes, well, it will show the doctor you're willing to cooperate, and that looks good. See, now that's a term that you can use for your safety, but sometimes, you know, workers be abusing that just so that they can feel more calm in the presence of a patient that they feel intimidated by. But this guy's a whole nother story, because we know why he got out of prison, and we knew how he was posturing and presenting when he came up to that desk. And other patients were terrified, and they deserve to have their rights and safety kept in mind as well. A very fine line to toe, but nonetheless, it's told all the time. He took the medication in injection form, so everybody's kind of, you know, watching their watches and seeing how long it's gonna take for bro to go down. Well, he doesn't. He's pacing and parading the unit. Every time he looks at a staff, he's frowning at them, looking at them like this. He's reading all types of stuff that's on the wall. He's definitely fixated and just posturing. Y'all don't got no music around here? How come I can't listen to no music? That's when one of my coworkers threw me like a bowling ball under the bus. Now, I don't even really tell people that I did music and do music at my job, because I'm like, let's keep those worlds separate. I was still building up my music at the time. And one of my coworkers says to him, you know, Jay, he has a lot of music on his phone, and he even does music outside of here. I just felt like that one SpongeBob episode where SpongeBob was running from Sandy during her hibernation, and they did me like this.
Hey, wait! You don't understand!
Oh, look! It is I, SpongeBob, out here in the open.
SpongeBob?
Then he gets his grin on his face like, first time he grinned all day though, and they're just like, just go sit with them for a while, Jay, we'll give you relief. Relief never came. I was sitting in a room with this man, playing Jay-Z's greatest hits. And not gonna lie, it was a vibe. He was doing his thing, rapping, and it really did help him to calm down. He did need some music. So I was cool with being able to be there for him. Ended up playing some cards. He ended up telling me about, you know, how he ended up being locked up. But every time he said something funny, he gave me the most bear claw slap in the back of my back, bro. Like, in the same spot, too. He'll be like, like, I'm like, yo, bro. Yo, I'm like, really taking one for the team. So then he's like, what's this I hear about you doing music, man? You doing music? I'm like, yo, man, I really don't want to get into this. I'm thinking in my head. He's like, show me something. So I showed him some stuff I was working on at the time. Like, what could the harm be? But then he's just like, you know, I'm a rapper too. You think you can record me? Because that's the least thing they can do if they gonna keep me locked up in this. Yeah. I got this. I can record you. I had this app on my phone called T-Pain. This came out like when the iPod Touch like first came out, pretty much, where you could record yourself in auto-tune. There was like pre-made beats on there. If you know, you know. I used to make some bangers on that mug. And like I said, I didn't have no relief from my staff members. They wasn't answering text messages. I can't even like peep my head out the door, because the way you're never supposed to sit where you're where the patient is closer to the door than you are. But like, this was just so haphazardly set up and just not good that, you know, they left me out there pretty much. Like, bro could have broke my bones and used it to make some bread, and they would have come down and seen me as a finished product. But I was surfing the waves, y'all. I was surfing the waves. I'm like, okay, you throwing these at me? Okay, let's get it. So I pull out the T-Pain app, I'm like, you want a beat? How you want to do it? He was like, well, I need something to go to this song that I wrote, so I might just need to do it a cappella. I'm thinking, this man came prepared? For myself, I wish I still had the recording, but the app is outdated, and when I transferred phones, this was years ago, y'all, and when I transferred phones, the app didn't transfer over, and I don't know what happened. I couldn't get access to anything anymore. Even when I went to my old phone to try to get it, like, it wouldn't open up any of the files. But I remember this song to this day because he told me what it was about, and he sang his little hood heart out, and this is how I went. Also, imagine, I gotta be sitting here serious recording this man while, okay, this is how the song went. Ma been through my hood, and ain't much change. Hoes be selling tail, thugs still trying to sell. I'm like, yo, this man singing his hood heart out. I'm telling you, man. Y'all, and like, this man's telling me this is what his reaction was to, I guess when he left the prison to come to the war, he, I don't know, either stopped home and grabbed stuff or went through his neighborhood, but he said he saw everything was the same from before when he got locked up to when he saw things when he was released. You know, I've been through my hood, ain't much change. So after we did literally like 30 plus takes of him trying to do that song and he finally did it, he just wants to listen back to it over and over again. And it got the T-Pain auto-tune on it. And he over here listening back like he loving it. Like, dude is in heaven right now. And so are my coworkers. Because they don't got to deal with any of the stuff that they was dealing with earlier, being threatened. Because Jay got it. I told y'all my nickname was the patient whisperer in that mug. So it was finally time for my shift to be over, and the next technician comes to the door, creaks it open, knocks first. And I said, oh, I'm letting him know. Oh, that's probably the other technician. He said, what, you about to leave? I was like, yeah, dog, but I'm going to be back. I'm going to be back tomorrow. He was like, shit, I'm going to sleep then. I'm like, going to sleep with him then? With the... But you know what? I'm glad I was able to help him. Because when I did come back to the unit, it was a whole new disaster. He broke out of the unit during midnight shift and somehow was able to find papers with staff's names on it and other private information and had it in his room. Yeah, they ended up bringing him back. They had to call the police, but it started a whole new piece of drama because he's walking around telling people what their first and last name is based on employee documents that he was able to have access to because he snatched it from outside of one of the HR people's offices. If y'all want to hear that story, like for part 2 because it gets up. I'll tell y'all how he broke out in the first place and like for part 2.
At 69, his cellie got turned out. Watch this story.
I got this story I'm gonna tell y'all about the homie, right? This was my partner, like I had so much love for this fool, like it was like unconditional love. But in the penitentiary, people you meet, they don't really stand on what they say. You know, me and him, you know, I'm a Crip by affiliation. Hoover Crip, to be exact. And there's only 9 sets of us. And we outnumbered. You know what I mean? Like, the other sets be bigger than us, but when we come together, it don't matter about the numbers. It's how much heart that you got inside of them numbers. And we was like some 300s. We was trained to go. So I thought about one of my homies. But this is a story about how my partner got turned out. When I mean turned out, basically, and it still messes with me today, man. Basically, he turned into another Tiffany. But the backstory to me and the homie, I met him at Draper Correctional Facility in Montgomery. You know, Montgomery is like, when you first come to prison, if you're a certain age, you from 18 to 25, they send you to Draper. 9 times out of 10, they're gonna send you to Draper. And I don't know if Draper open right now, but they just call it the Gladiator School. Cause I don't care who you is, You can go in there and be a Muslim, Jehovah's Witness, believe in Jesus Christ. You're non-violent protester. I don't care who you is. You go through Draper, you gonna have to bump with somebody. So my brother was there too. God bless the dead. My brother was there because they sent all us to Draper. Because they certified him as an adult at 14 years of age. They certified my brother as a grown man. And I was 17 at the time. And they certified me as a grown man. Because we had grown man charges. But you go to politicking and you go to meet different people in prison. And I ran across Inmate. You know what I mean? He was from the Gump. And you know, this is a Montgomery camp. If you know, you know. It was a Montgomery camp. Montgomery, Sylacauga, all the surrounding counties, like this was their hub from being home. Now, I'm like 2 hours and something from home, from Thomasville, which my mama ain't had no car. I know I ain't get no visit. You know, but they kept some money on my book. So we in Draper, what we call the Gladiator school. They sent all the youngsters there that they just certified and they can't get right. You know, they gave us time out of time, juvenile. This is my first introduction into prison. So when I get there, you know, I had one of my partners that was already there, Neil. You know, he was Harlem 30 Crip. But, you know, when I got Neil, we just left the street. We just gangbang, you know what I mean? So I get the Draper. I meet the homie, you know, he hit me up. You know what I mean? We shook up. And he was like, hey, I ain't banging no more. But I am what I am. But I'm a Muslim now. So I'm like, what the fuck? You a Muslim? I ain't understand. You know, I'm Crip crazy. That's all I know is gangbanging. I said, so you a Muslim? So you ain't claiming the set no more? He was like, I had to run that down to you later on, cuz. But he had a little dashiki little thing on the head and shit, you know what I mean? Like, how the Muslims had a little dashiki on. I guess he going to a prayer call. And so I settled in, you know. So they was like, where you from? And I'm Thomasville. What you claim? I'm a Crip. Hoover Crip. So they like, oh yeah, you got your brothers over here, man. That's your brother right there. That's your brother right there. No fools will tell you who affiliated with, who you ever affiliated with. So I had my brother there, so I ain't really care about nothing. But so we started meeting all the homies. So Inmate became like my partner. My partner, man. He like became like my brother outside my brother. We used to eat soups and chips and shit together. We used to be in there playing cards, playing dominoes, gang banging. I give him a three-way, he give me a three-way, me, him, and Chris, you know. And it was a couple more homies that was there at Draper. But it wasn't a lot of us. But the majority of fools at Draper was blood. And I remember I seen this fool that he was the biggest human I had ever seen at this time. And before I encountered the big homie from Avalon, cartoon. But this nigga, his name was Moan, Big Moan. That nigga had body across his back, like from shoulder to shoulder. I was like, God dang, man, do humans get this big? But he was a blood. He was a certified blood. So, it was a bunch of bloods at that camp at that time. And I got a story about how I got into it with them and basically I almost started a gang ride between the Crips and the Bloods. But yeah, so Inmate was my partner, man, you know what I mean? So me and him have been doing time. We have been doing time at the time for years. So we end up getting C51. And I'm gonna come back on the part of how I got C51, how it all started. So this is a good story, and it's a true story. So I'm not gonna make these long, but follow me for part 2.
At 70, sometimes inmates bring a knife to a fist fight. Watch this story.
And listen, you got me fucked up. Ain't nobody hyping me up to go inside of a cell and fight a man who has a machete in his damn hand. But on a serious note, that's what's to expect when you put your life on the line, when you're out there committing these crimes and doing silly things, man. It's a place where they have no respect for human life, and people are literally going to egg on the violence. People are in there miserable. Some ain't never going home, and they just spiteful, and they get nothing better to do than see another man lose his life. At the end of the day, stay free.
At 71, inmates want to hop on the trends. Watch this one.
Inmates trying to hop on trends from prison.
All right, bro, you bouncing too much ass for a dude that's in prison. Come on, brother, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. Now, inmates do this all the time. They always try to hop on trends when they see them on the internet. And hey, I'm for it. Now, I'm not saying I like seeing inmates get on the internet and try to make prison look like it's cool, because I'm not about that at all. But I am glad that inmates are making jokes and trying to be funny instead of getting in trouble. If we had social media when I was in prison, I wouldn't have gotten any trouble. I would have set my ass on my rack and did my TikTok videos. But when I was locked up, we didn't have anything to preoccupy us. And no, I'm not saying cell phones are allowed in prison, because they're not. But there's enough inmates that have them nowadays that I'm kind of jealous. Where I was at, you get 5 years if you get caught with a phone. Where this person's at, if they get caught with a phone, it's probably a slap on the wrist. Any inmates you guys seeing posting without covering their face, they don't really care if they have a phone or not. Because the institutions that do care, those inmates are covering their face. And that's facts.
At 72, his cellie got his manhood taken behind them bars.
What up, though, y'all? It's your boy Bill. For those of you who've been around for a while, you probably know I've done this video before. May have been the first one I ever recorded. This is my most viewed video, the most disturbing also. But I wasn't able to monetize it because I didn't really understand the rules to this platform, and I was using a lot of profanity and stuff, and just a lot of stuff that I wanted to cut out of it. So I just decided to do it again. It's gonna be a much clean version now, and I'm gonna delete the old one. A lot of people ask the question, do people really get violated in prison? Get their manhood taken away in prison? The answer to that is yes. It's not as often as it was back in the day, but the real answer is yes. Like, I did 9 years in there, and I have probably been at a prison and heard about it maybe 4 or 5 times. But the fact remains the same, that it does still happen. Now, when I say I witnessed it, I did not witness it with my own 2 eyes, but I did witness it with my 2 ears. The way the rooms are set up, they're super close together, right? Inside every room, like going along the wall at the bottom, it's a vent. It's a long vent, probably like that high. And you can talk to your next door neighbors through the vent. They can hear you real good. So if I'm just laying in my room being quiet, and my roommate, the people in the room next to me, in there laughing and talking about something, I can hear them through the vent. Sometimes, like, if we lock down and we want to chop it up with each other, we could just talk. Like, I could be laying in my bed and be like, say, bro, what's up? And then he could be like, what's up, bro? What you got going on? And we can hear each other through the vent. And it'll sound a little distant, like it might have a little echo to it. But if I get out my bed and come up close to the vent and be like, hey, bro, and he get out his bed and come up close to the vent, it'll sound crystal clear. It'll be so loud, like we right here standing in each other's face. Now, they got something in the prison called the F games. The F stands for the F word. I'm just not gonna say it. Games. What it is, allegedly heterosexual people that plays games as if they're homosexual. And it's just like a joke. It's just like, ha ha ha, laughing, joking, whatever. Like I think the first time I ever, I probably was in prison just a couple months. The first time I ever heard somebody play the F games. And there was two dudes that used to be together. They was cool with each other. And one of the dudes got up. I think we was getting ready to go out for chow. He was pulling his pants up, and his homeboy walked past me and said, "Boy, that getting fat." And then they both bust out laughing. I was like, man, watch out, bro, watch out. And everybody that was around them started laughing. I never felt like that type of stuff was funny. So that's a game that they play in there. When I was in there, somebody attempted to play a game with me like that. I probably was on my second year in. It was one of my homeboys I was cool with. He had been locked up a little longer than me, you know, so he was into the plan, and he just was the type of person that wanted to be around and play and joke a lot. And, you know, I like to joke and stuff too, but not about certain stuff. I was talking to him about, we was just talking that morning. I said something. I had some toothpaste or something on my shirt. And then I was telling him I was brushing my teeth this morning. I messed around, swallowed some toothpaste. Then I went trying to mess around and spit some of it out they got on my shirt or whatever. And once I said the word swallowed, he looked at me and was like, "Boy, you did what?" And then I just let him know right then and there. I'm like, "Hey, listen, bro, you know, I rock with you, we cool, but I don't play the F games, bro. I don't play games like that with people. I don't want nobody playing with me like that. You know, that's just not something that I want to play about, and I would appreciate it if you don't ever play with me like that again." You know what I'm saying? So he was like, "You know, bro, I respect it. I ain't try you or nothing. I don't even live like that. I just think it's funny. I just play like that." I'm like, "Yeah, well, you know, that's what you do. That's cool. I'm not judging you. I'm just telling you don't play with me no more like that." So he was like, "All right, cool." So I nipped stuff like that in the bud off the dribble. Like, I feel like stuff like that, if you feel the way I feel about it, you don't even give it. As soon as the door try to open a little bit, you slam it back. You let it be known off the dribble. I don't play like this. You can play with whoever you want to play with like this, but don't play with me like this. Now, there's a saying that says there's some truth behind every joke. I think it's some truth to that saying, but I don't feel like it's 100% because
At 73, this was crazy.
I was raped the first week I was in prison by two guys.
That's a hell of a way to start a video. I've never been in prison or jail before, but if I have, I don't think I would have told that story.
At 74, here's the nastiest thing inmates do behind bars.
Nastiest thing I've seen in prison. People in prison will do anything to escape their feeling of being in there. And this is the nastiest thing I ever seen while I was locked up. A lot of prisons have the MAT program now, which I do not disagree with the MAT program. You don't just go to prison and boom, you're not an addict anymore. I was on the MAT program in there, and it saved my life. And people that are going to the MAT program, you know, they try to cheek the film. They'll dry their lip out or their mouth before they go over there, and they'll throw it in their pocket and then go back to the block and sell it. But once you get on you don't get the films anymore. So what people are doing is, when they go over there and get they'll let it sit on there like all day, the Band-Aid. And the red stuff leaks out on the Band-Aid and the medicine. And people in there know who's on it and who's not. So after it's sitting on there for the whole day, they'll peel it off and they'll go around, Band-Aid for sale, Band-Aid for sale. I seen one get sold for $150. And people will literally eat the Band-Aid. Nastiest thing I've seen in prison.
At 75, here's how this OG never got his manhood taken.
The only reason that I didn't get in prison, you know why? I didn't get raped. Yeah, that's the word. Raped took fast. The only reason. It ain't one reason it wasn't because I was tough. Tough don't make you shit in the penitentiary. It ain't a nigga in that motherfucker tough enough for shit. Any nigga come home and tell you he was a tough man in prison, he a lying motherfucker. Ain't no tough niggas in prison. It ain't no badder than everybody nigga in prison. Never. The only thing, nothing happened to me in prison because one reason, because God was on my side. And I knew that. I just told you I grew up in church. And that's how I knew why nothing happened to me. It ain't nothing about me being tough. Nothing about me. I ain't have enough muscles in that motherfucker. I ain't have enough heart enough fighting me to stop 6 or 7 niggas when they want some ass. And that's what they coming to get, regardless of what you say. Yeah, you young niggas don't know. They taking you young niggas, I'm telling y'all something. They taking you young boys like that, y'all go down there thinking y'all tough. The next day you walking down the hall with a diaper on.
At 76, what happens when you know you have 38 more years to go?
It's too late. What's done is done.
That's the sad reality of prison. Some people ain't never going home. They messed up one time. And I'm gonna keep it real. That situation be sad as hell, man. Having to live in this 4x4 cell with another human being that is a complete stranger, living on the same bunk, smelling another man's doo-doo. That man is facing 38 years. I know people who are doing life that been down 31 years. Imagine living that same situation over and over every day like a robot, man. Being told what to do, when you can go eat, when you can go outside, when you can take a shower, you know what I mean? And then imagine the rest of your life never going swimming, taking a bath, and you just sit there. That's what prison is. Recess all day, and eventually recess gets boring, just standing around talking to guys that are miserable or who are plotting or just envious of other people, man. And prison is just a place of people who do not want to progress, man. And I know you young guys out there might not think about it right now, but it's going to come a time when you get to that point in age of your life, you're like, damn, I effed up. And when that maturity kicks in, you're going to wish what got you into that predicament you never did. So if you out there playing with your life, please try your hardest to not walk down that path, man. I've never met one person saying, yeah, what I did was worth it. You know, I'm glad I'm in the joint. You know, he deserved it. They be like, damn, I wish I never did that shit, man. I'm sitting in this unit, you know, around all these other miserable. Prison is dressed up how it is, but it's an illusion. It's hell on earth, and it's nothing but torment. And it's just sad, man. Some people, their hands are forced. It's the product of their environment. You know, they was raised in the streets because of their parents, but we represent a hood or a street sign because we were poor. Make it make sense. It don't make sense, man. So stay free and think more than twice before you pull that trigger. Stay free, y'all. And let's raise awareness to try to change these laws and help people come home that change their lives. Have a great day.
At 77, her first day behind bars as a trans was nuts.
I'm a trans woman that went to men's prison for 5 years, and I let everybody into my sweet cave, if you get what I'm saying. And my very first day in prison, immediately I knew I can do something here. I take you to the quartermaster. That's where you get your box and your uniform and all of your stuff. So I walk into the quartermaster, and immediately the CO says, the new queen of the compound is here. And I was like, oh shit, they already recognize, okay? They're putting respect on my name, period. Walk to your dorm, and this box is huge. It's a big metal box. It's heavy as fuck. I hear a little bit of bickering behind me, and it's these guys bickering about who is going to carry my box to my dorm. And I'm like, period. More respect. Okay. So we're walking the avenue, and it's a long avenue, and the guys decided which one of them was going to carry my box. So I am just giving it my best, like it's a fucking runway, and I hear whistling coming from the windows. And I'm like, I don't know.
At 78, she didn't expect to date this inmate.
Y'all better quit talking to the men's in jail. Y'all better quit talking to the men's in jail. I got a jailbird story, and I'm ready to tell it. So I was working at this place, right? And it was a warehouse, of course. So at this warehouse, we had an inmate release program where the inmates would come and they would do their work release at this warehouse. Now, when I first started, they did not have the work release program in action. So for the first couple months, there were no inmates. So I knew nothing about it. All of a sudden, I'm working. One day, here come these men's. Here come a whole busload of men, all in green pants and gray shirts. I said, oh my God. Now, mind you, I had already talked to my little coworker friends, and we had already talked about, like, we don't talk to these men. These men are here to work. We don't associate with these men. Like, it's your best bet to just not associate with the men, okay? I didn't listen, obviously. So they weren't allowed to see our phones. Like, they physically weren't allowed to, like, look at anything on a phone. But of course, this man's like, yo, let me call my brother for me real quick. Call my brother for me real quick. Call my mom. Let me check on my people real quick. I got my AirPod. I'm like, here. I'm slipping him my AirPod. I'm like, here, talk to him. We on break together, right? This man on the phone. The whole time we on break, he on the phone. So then I'm like, well, I could bring you some breakfast to work since you ain't had no outside food in a minute. What's your favorite food? What you want to eat? So boom, I ended up bringing the guys some Bojangles, okay? Now, I wasn't the only person that did this. Multiple other people that worked there knew that food, you know, kind of made them feel better. So a lot of people would go get some food and bring in food for the whole community, okay? I like this boy a lot, though. Like, he called me as soon as we left work and they got on that prison bus to go back to prison. 20 minutes later, I knew my phone was ringing, and it did. Had the man name saved in my phone as my inmate and everything. Mind you, it's not his phone number, it's the jail phone number. So, of course, every time I get a jail call, it say my inmate. I'm like, there go my inmate calling me. Now, all his people lived in the area, and he was expected to get out very soon. So, of course, I knew when he get out, obviously, we're going to be together. What do you mean? He also was not allowed to use any of the money that he was making on work release. So, of course, when he get out, he like, oh, yeah, when I get out, you know, I'm going to have... He was supposed to have, like, $20,000. Not even gonna lie. He was like, yeah, you know, I'm going to have money. You know, I'm going to take care of you. Everything going to be straight. You going to be straight. Da-da-da-da. I'm like, yeah. Long story short, boom. He got out, obviously. So, he gets out. And I'm pissed because... he didn't tell me what time he was getting out and shit like that. So I wasn't there to pick him up. His sister and his family went to go pick him up, which I'm like, you haven't seen your family in a while. You need to see your family. So it is what it is, whatever. We immediately go to a cookout that his dad is throwing for him. Big first day out cookout, hoopla, whatever. This man is so drunk. He is laying in the living room floor in front of his whole family and everybody. Baby, come take care of me. Come take care of me. I'm looking at him. I'm looking at them. I'm like, he needs some help, y'all. He needs some help. Mind you, first thing that he did was when he got that check cashed. So he had that money on, right? Right. When I tell you this man was passing out $100 bills to his family like it wasn't shit, I was like, oh, okay. Let me sit back and wait on my turn. Whole time, my turn never came. Like, if you want, my turn never came. Never. Then on top of that, my dumb ass went and got a phone in my name for him. Because, you know, that's what a nigga in jail always need. A bitch to get a phone in her name for him. Then, the next day, we went out to eat together. And the way that he behaved in that restaurant was ridiculous. I'm talking about loud, ratchet, ghetto, embarrassing. I wanted 0 parts in being associated with that man at that point in time. So, you know, I basically told him, like, a couple days later, you lied to me. You are no help to me. You have not helped me with anything that you said you was going to help me with. The only thing that you have done since you've been home is get drunk and be an asshole. And it's really quite annoying. And so... I'm cool. Like, we don't have to be together. I'm cool. Here come the hoopla. Oh, you used me. You just wanted to take advantage of me. And I'm just like, wow. That is funny. I was trying to take advantage of you. Wow. Long story short, I ended up breaking up with him. And then he would see me, like, riding through town and shit. And he would call me at random times and be like, oh, I see you. I know that's your car. I see you over there. Like, nigga, what? Leave me alone. You're weird. These men in jail are not who you think they are. At all. I don't care what they tell you. I don't care what dream they done sold you. It's a dream. It is a facade. Don't believe shit. Run.
At 79, her cellie had multiple identities disorder. Here's what happened.
I remember one time when I was in jail, And my cellmate, she had multi-personality disorder and schizophrenia. They call it dissociative identity disorder now. This is important, y'all, in the story. Listen. So she was literally like 6 different people. They were different genders, different races. Some of them motherfuckers even from different countries, bitch. They all had like their own voice, she was literally 6 different people. Like if I would have never witnessed this shit in real life, I would not believe this shit was real. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I don't think she like had like a lot of family like in there that like would help her with commissary stuff. So she would like hide her meds when they give them to her, like under her tongue, and like sell them for like hygiene products and food. So she was never on her meds. So like her personalities were very intense. And I don't know if y'all are like educated with this disease. Like they can't just snap out of it. Like it's whenever their brain is ready to switch. Like there's no like just back to normal. No, it's whenever their brain is ready. Like the mind is a beautiful thing, I promise. I don't know if y'all ever seen the movie Split. It was exactly like that, like spot on. So one of her personalities was like a British king named King Henry. He was like a 70-year-old king of the UK that literally thought he was better than everybody and too good for jail, and he had no reason to be in there, and bitch, the government was fucking with him, like whatever. And he was just a grumpy ass 70-year-old British man. Like he did not like nobody, bitch, not even himself. And one time a fight had broke out, and I don't know if y'all ever been in jail. When a fight break out, they literally, the jail I was at, they literally pepper sprayed a whole block to get everybody back in their cell so they could lock the cell and do a head count and make sure everybody there. Cool. Y'all know I'm messy, so bitch, I'm at the front of the fight, so bitch, I get pepper sprayed the most. Like I said, my cellmate, she had like a mental disorder, so she always stayed to herself, always stayed in the room. She was always in her own head. So the pepper spray wasn't affecting her at all. So I'm running back to the room, like fighting for my life, fighting to get in the right cell, because bitch, don't get caught in the wrong cell. You better get caught in your motherfucking shit, bitch. So I'm literally fighting for my life, trying to get back to the cell, literally on fire, cat burning, eyes burning, everything burning, bitch. I'm just burning. So I finally make it back to the cell, y'all. So I'm screaming at her to help me, like pour pickle juice on me, bitch, do something, whatever you got in the cell. Like, I'm reaching around, I can't see, like, bitch, I'm dying fighting for my life. And guess who the fuck this bitch is stuck as? King Henry, bitch. I was so fucking aggravated. So I'm asking her, I'm like, help me. As soon as I heard the accent, bitch, I already knew. Bitch, she was like, I will do no such thing, you peasant. Leave me alone. Like, y'all have to understand, I've never been pepper sprayed before, so this was so intense for me. Like, I didn't know how to react to it. But as soon as I heard that British accent, like, I knew I wasn't getting no help. So, bitch, I'm literally in excruciating pains for like 25 minutes. Like, I didn't strip butt naked, laying on a dirty prison floor, like, trying to get some sense of like cold to the body. Like, y'all, it was just so hectic. And she just kept screaming, I will do no such thing, you peasant. Like, chat, like, jail is the most inhumane thing like I've ever witnessed in my life. Like, what do you mean you pepper spraying everybody to calm them down? Y'all, don't go to jail, I promise. But she was the sweetest girl ever. Like, when she was her normal self, she was literally the sweetest woman ever. Like, I swear, she had no reason to be in there for real. I hope King Henry is free, man. He did not do it.
At 80, an inmate scammed her straight for 2 years.
Story time on how I let an inmate scam me for almost 2 years of my life. This all happened back in 2024 when I first decided I wanted to be a correctional officer. Don't get me wrong, when I first started, I thought I was going to be one of the hardest officers. You can't tell me shit. And for about a year, I was doing good. We're going to call this nigga Tyler. Tyler was about 6'3", on the skinnier side, and he was a mixed race, black, and something else. Tattoos on the neck, fine. And don't get me wrong, there was a lot of fine men in that prison, but it was something about him. Now, when I first saw him, I already knew he was on bullshit. But he did a little shit to get my attention, but I will always cuss him out every time. One specific time where I gave him a direct order, and I put some curse words in it, some razzle-dazzle, and the man turned around and he said, girl, stop playing with me. Girl, something about that hit my toxic side. I don't know what it was. But don't get me wrong, I wasn't invested just yet. I really was trying to make sure that I stayed on my P's and Q's, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm dead ass wrong, because I knew damn well he wasn't looking for me like that, because I'm gonna show you what I look like then. Bitch, I was dead ass wrong. And I had no sense of self-worth. But then it's really still on me because I let it go for so long. To get straight into it, we went on a full thing of me cussing him out, telling him to leave me alone, him coming and still trying. There was one day he came up to me, he followed me. And I was saying, stop fucking following me. He said, no, I want you. I get what I want. And you're going to be mine. Boy, you not getting me.
At 81, for women, can you go to prison with hair extension? No. Here's why.
What happens if you go to prison with hair extensions? Okay, well, you have to take them out. Everything that you have to take out. Eyelashes, you have to take them out. If you can't take them out, you know how it'll like hurt you, pull your lashes out. You have to go to segregation and then wait until they fall out. No lie. Same thing for your hair. Like when you go to prison, you can't dye your hair. Back to your natural hair color, ladies. Don't go to prison.
At 82, what inmates do with private pictures, you know what I mean?
So y'all, I'm gonna get into something with y'all really quick, right? Because my little cousin, who I love to death, she texted me this morning. She was like, hey, can I ask you a question? I'm like, well, she was like, how do y'all get pictures and stuff in there? And I was like, we have tablets. She was like, do y'all have the tablets all the time? I'm like, yeah, you have them all day long. You just get back. You have your own personal assigned tablet with your name on it. Your messages come to it, your pictures, everything comes to that tablet. And you only give it to the officers to charge it, but you have your tablet. She was like, well, what do y'all do with pictures and stuff? Can other people see our pictures? I'm like, yes. So I'm like, she was like, oh my God. So I'm like, well, what happened? She was like, this boy been asking her for pictures and stuff like that. And my cousin bad. When I say my cousin so bad, she bad. Body T, face cutesy. You want to say small little feet, honey. Pretty melanin skin, honey. I said, what happened? She was like, he keeps telling her send pictures of him as baby suit and stuff like that. I said, oh, baby, he plotting. So this is going to be about what the boys do with y'all pictures, videos, and messages. And this not everybody. This is just something that is commonly a common practice in the Department of Corrections. So, now, if you have a boo, a bae, an ex, or somebody in prison, or whatever it may be, and you know they ask you for pictures and stuff, send them. Be very mindful. If you know this ain't your husband, you know this is just somebody you was twirling, you know you was just getting your little coin out of him, or whatever the case may be, don't think you sending him pictures and he gonna be the only one looking at them. Baby, I remember back in the day before we had this house, when them girls used to send their pictures through the mail, physical pictures. Baby, I was going to the shower and them girls' pictures be stuck right down the wall. He done got mad at the girl or whatever the hung up, and I took her pictures, her little nudes, whatever picture, her little buses, cause we call them buses. They take their little buses, honey, and glue that bitch right to the shower wall so everybody can see. Not only have I seen that, I've seen them sell pictures. Like, they sell buses. Especially if it's a dude, they got like a roster of fine girls. Now, this before they was able to get on Facebook and Instagram in prison on those cell phones. When you just had to have, you know, the magazines, the straight stunting magazines, and the Hip Hop Weekly that had the models in their bathing suits, you had to rely on a street picture, was a physical picture coming through the mail. So, the boys used to write all these girls, different girls, hey, send me some pictures. And the dude that had the most pictures, that had the best lineup of pictures, he was the boy you want to go to when you wanted to, you know, gun something, knock something down. So you got some dudes in there that's known to be like the busted man with all the busted books. And they call them, you know, books. And what he'll do is, he'll take all these different girl pictures and he'll cut them up and put it like it's a magazine. He'll tape them, laminate, all that stuff, tape them up, all that stuff. And he'll have a book of straight buses, and he'll rent it out. Literally, you can rent it for like, hey, bruh, let me get 5 minutes with it, and I'm going to give you $2.
At 83, what happens when you accidentally join your rival gang behind bars?
Out of nowhere, I heard, hey, you Dominican? Next thing you know, he comes this Puerto Rican blood kid. I don't know he's blood. He's like, yo, what's up, fam? I'm like, what's up? He's like, you new? I'm like, yeah, I'm new. He's like, you don't know nobody? I'm like, nah. He's like, come fuck with me, bro. I'm like, all right, I'll take a spin with you. We just talk, and he's from Brooklyn, I'm from Long Island, we just talking. He goes, come on, I'm gonna come introduce you to my friends, my peoples. I'm like, all right. So we go up to there's like these courts where they hang out, all the gangs and everything, and you know, you don't enter unless you're part of that gang, or unless they like give you permission to enter their little areas. So I'm there, they tell me I can come in. So now I'm noticing, oh snap, these guys are all bloods. I'm like, oh, wait. The old guys in the county always told me stay away from the gangs upstate. So I'm like, damn. Well, I don't fuck with no fucking bloods. I can't stand them motherfuckers. Like an idiot running my mouth realizing, oh shit, I just said this in front of about 15 bloods. Now they're all looking at me like, what? So now they're plotting on me. I'm about to get sliced. I'm like, fuck, why did I say that? Back up, and I swung, missed. But I tell him in Spanish. I said, yo, tú no mamas huevo, loco. And nowhere I heard, hey, you Dominican? And I look over, I'm like, yeah. That's when I learned about the Trinitarios. That's what I became. He's Dominican and he's safe here and nobody doing nothing to him. And if you want to go toe-to-toe with him, we could do that.
At 84, you know you can't sleep on your stomach behind jail.
Now that's a quick way to lose your life. One thing you do not do in prison is sleep while that cell door is open. That's a big no-no. And this man is in 2 major violations. For one, he's sleeping on his belly. You do not sleep on your stomach while you in prison, because we all know there's some major predators that would love to have taken advantage of that situation, if you know what I mean. 2, you do not sleep during the day. When them doors pop, you pop. And as you just seen, a group of guys just walked up into a cell and he was startled. But lucky for him, those were members of his own organization. But the bad news is they are there to punish him. Yeah, violate him for breaking the rules of sleeping during the day room. When them doors pop, you roll your mat up, put it to the end so it keeps the temptation of you falling asleep. And you strap them shoes up and you prepare yourself for war and act like your life is in jeopardy. Every day your life is in harm's way, whether you know it or not, because there's a lot of loose cannons in that situation. Prison is no joke and definitely not the place to be. Stay free.
At 85, he saw 2 gang leaders doing the unthinkable.
All right, so boom, I'm gonna give y'all story time of when I knew that prison wasn't for me. All right, so boom, this is when I first touched down in the feds. And the feds, they got different custody levels on what prison you gonna go to. They got camp, low, medium, and USP. USP is the highest, most dangerous you can go to. Medium, that's another dangerous spot. Low is kind of cool. Camp, that's the lowest you can go. I've been to a camp and a low. I got in trouble in motherfucking camp and they sent me to the low. Alright, so boom, this is when I first touched down the feds. I could go to the camp and shit, you feel me? So this is like my second money in, I say. So boom, as I'm walking to the motherfucking it's like 3 a.m. this time. I'm walking to the restroom. Normally when I walk to the restroom, I slide my slippers and shit to let motherfuckers know that I'm coming. And I'm gonna tell you exactly why I should have did that shit that fucking night. So boom, I'm walking to the restroom and shit. I ain't do that shit. So shit, how the shit set up, it's like you walk straight. They got the motherfucking the sinks right here. Then they got the motherfucker. If you keep going, you pass that, they got the urinals and the stalls. But on the right side, they got the motherfucking on the right side they got the showers, the stalls and shit. And the stalls, like they cover from chest all the way to like your to your knees type shit, you feel me? So boom, I go to the urinal, I use the restroom and shit. As I'm finna go wash my hands and shit, you feel me? Nah, I'm lying. I'm finna go smoke me a cigarette after I got done using the restroom. So I'm walking to the handicap stall. The handicap stall is the biggest stall. So that's when we go smoke our little cigarettes and shit, you feel me? So I'm walking to the handicap stall, man. I just hear, I just hear that. I'm like, what the fuck? Man, tell me why I go to the handicap stall. It's 2 Migos going at it. I'm talking about beating that mother. I'm talking about they going crazy, bro. Fucking the shit out, bro. I seen that shit. I heard a pimp off act like I ain't see something. I'm like, damn, dog. I'm like, bro, ain't no way. I seen this shit on the movies, but ain't no fucking way, bro. Then at the camp is more shit. Since it's the lower security, it's more acceptable shit. Like, you can be on shit like that, but you still gonna, motherfuckers still gonna, you feel me? You gonna get politics about it, but it ain't gonna be like on some, yeah, we gotta get this nigga gone. He a fag, we gotta get this nigga gone. You feel me? But yeah, it was a Paisa. That's some Mexican gang shit, whatever the fuck they on. Motherfucking, then there's a Puerto Rican dude, he was a solo. Solo is like, you're not a part of anything, but if a riot break off, you're gonna be with the Tango Blast, and the Tango Blast, they accept all the solos and shit. And on the yard and the feds, like in Beaumont, I'm gonna just speak on Beaumont period, like Beaumont, that's where all the Pisces, more Pisces than anything. There's more Pisces than anything. Shit, so shit, when I had seen this shit, I heard a pimp off, go back to my bunk, lay down and shit, you feel me? And like I ain't see shit. So boom, the next day come by, I guess one of them niggas seen me, so he like on some, you feel me? He looking at me, he want to know if I know, but I ain't just finna come and tell you, yeah, nigga, I seen you fuck that nigga last night. I seen you niggas legs going back and forth and shit, nigga. I seen that shit. No, I'm not finna tell you I seen shit, cause I ain't want to see that shit, homeboy. But hey, yeah, goddamn me. Whenever I seen that shit, man, I'm just like, then one of the dudes, he tatted up. He got tattoos all on his face, all on his arms. I ain't think he was like that. I'm thinking he was just a gangster ass nigga and shit. The whole time he fucking punks and shit. And it makes sense because I used to see them niggas together all the time in the dorm and shit. Like they eat 2 peas and 1 pie and shit. And one of them, he tall ass Puerto Rican dude, older dude, like he in his 50s, and the other dude, like little short motherfucker in his fucking 30s and shit. You feel me? The shit weird than a bitch, bro. So shit, when I work out and shit, like when I was in the workout car, my workout car, I'm from Texas and shit, but I was in the Louisiana workout car because shit, I fuck with them niggas. Them niggas that was working out every day on some real, they doing their thing type shit. So I jumped in their car and shit. You feel me? So whenever we were working out and shit, bro used to be posted up in a little alleyway just looking at shit, bro. You feel me? Like, bro, like I had on some shorts and like when I worked out, I got on shorts and shit, bro. I like having like not no little shorts, but like shorts that just like, you feel me? And I just like, bro, what the fuck this nigga on? This nigga approached me on some shit. I'm gonna beat the fuck out this nigga, bro. So shit, nigga, whenever goddamn me, all this shit go on, I see this shit, I'm just like, man, this shit ain't for me, bro. And I seen them niggas too going at it in the shower, man. I just knew that this shit wasn't for me. I'm a young nigga. I'm glad I fucked up early. I got this shit up out the way. I ain't got to be on this shit. Keep going back to jail. This shit ain't played at all. I can't get no money. I can't fuck no hoes in the jail. So I like, man, when I get out, I'm gonna do this shit right, cause them 2 niggas fucking each other, that shit really fucked me up in my head. I ain't think I'd ever see no shit like that in life. No cap. And yo, that was the time that I seen 2 niggas fucking each other in the feds. And that's the reason why I'm not gonna go back to the feds. Hey, make sure y'all like and repost and share my shit, bro, so I can get more views and drop y'all more federal content, more content by hoes and all this old good shit. Real talk, man.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. Half these niggas don't even believe we locked up. I don't know nobody basement look like this, you feel me? This shit is painful, man. I'm gonna take you in the mind of a convict, let you know what I feel every day. You understand? Let's go.
I say listen, and maybe you will see that everything that happened isn't meant to be. I say listen, and maybe you will see that everything that happened isn't meant to be. I know that it hurts like hell. I know that you don't wanna seem scared. I know peace is so hard to find, especially with all the shit that's on your mind. I know
times are getting hard. I try not to think about it. I'm in the pen now, trying to write the ink about it. I've been a little more stressed since my wife left me. The devil's inside, I feel like you might get me. And I can shine, just depending how the light hit me. The drugs fuck your life up, ain't they right, Whitney? And I've been taking those a lot, they don't seem to work. And words ain't shit, cause now they all seem to hurt. And since I went away, the ones I thought loved me come see me twice a year, and that's if I'm lucky. And for them backstabbing buffoons, when the knife stuck me, this a lot deeper than the wounds, nigga. Cause I done cashed my reality check, surrounded by the fake but can't escape reality yet. I was trying to feed my family, took me as a threat, put me away. Now it's hard for me to accept that things change. And it's hard for me to forget baby moms getting pregnant over meaningless sex. Not to mention Mother's Day, I lost one of my best homies. My son got love for his pops that he can't show me, cause he don't even know who I am. I mean he do, but he don't really know who I am. And that's the truth, so I gotta take that with a grain of salt. Respect that everything that's happened is my fault. I may never see my moms on the street again. The Lord calling me, I might end up meeting him before I ever see my data release. Cause it's all a game, but these niggas playing for keeps. And the fact still remains that pain is a real emotion. Something you gotta hide, a door you can't open. Cause even when you feel like everything's been broken, men gotta be men. even if it's pretend. I can't hold it in, most these niggas are lie. Sometimes I gotta take me a shower to cry. That's the only time I get a moment that's private. My moment of peace, and that's where I find it. This is my life, it's making me sick. Learning bars and barbed wires only made me strict. Leave me confined, let my mind mentally picture a nigga fucking my bitch while I'm beating my dick. Damn. What would you do if you was in my shoes? Lost or suicide, but for my kids I choose to survive hell on earth. Cause this is hell I curse. Whoever created it, they should've laid it in first, so they can feel how they own shit work. Spitefulness is bad, ignorance is worse. Cause at least I know when you do shit out of spite, I can respect it more cause you know what it's like. So don't act like you been where I've been. If you ain't never been here, how could you begin to know what I had to go through? Time you can't blow through. Trying to make it out without a house to come home to. Trying to make sense of it all. I'm an artist, but I don't have a pencil to draw. So I express my thoughts vocally. Paint a picture for y'all, so you don't have to count bricks on these walls. Cause who wants to live like that? Most niggas can't call the crib like that. You can't bid like that. Freedom is everything. Niggas cherish their lives more. Shit you throw away, these niggas willing to die for. You better recognize before it's too late. Dude been home 30 days, caught a new case. And it hurt bad, not cause that's your man's. It's cause you wish it was you that had that second chance. Now you
listen, and maybe you will see that everything that happened isn't meant to be. I say listen, and maybe you will see that everything that happened isn't meant to be. I know